What's up, friends? What's up, family? Sunday night, October 6th. Markets moving. Is this a trap? Is it about to break back down? Is it about to go up? What do the freaking professionals say? Is Kellam in a trade right now that's far too high leveraged? Has he been drinking tonight? The answer on that is yes. Is it too high leverage? Probably, but he knows how to manage his risk. Do we have Kevin Svensson coming on? It's a high likelihood, but you're about to get some over the radar, under the radar. We're about to drop some knowledge. So everybody get in here, drop hit that like, hit that subscription, hit that retweet. If you're watching on Twitter, hit the retweet right now. We're about to go live here in just a second. So everybody, I'm going to give it about 2 minutes. We're going to jump right in here. Don't worry. Don't worry about this countdown. Countdown is wrong. Let me adjust this right now. Let me put this at 1:35. Boom. There we go. 1 minute and 35 seconds. We're about to hop in. Aerodrome, a good buy now. Aerodrome has been a good buy for the last 6 months. It went up, got a little too high, dropped back down. We got some opportunities. We're going to look at the charts. We're going to look at all these things. Everybody get involved. We got to talk about it. You know what? What am I doing with this song? This is a wrong song to be playing. Hold on a second. Let me play the right song. Let me play the right song. Hit network. I don't even know where it's at, actually. There it is. Let's get into it.
Bitcoin, pump, altcoins, pump. I've been preparing for this. Can't nobody tell me nothing. Bitcoin, pump, altcoins, pump. I've been preparing for this. Can't nobody tell me nothing. Bitcoin, pump, altcoins.
We got some charts to share. We got some OGs to drop in. We got some stuff to talk about. Everybody, hit that retweet. Let's go. We're going to get into this in about 2 minutes.
Bitcoin's a flight to quality. I heard that from Larry Fink. Every hour losing purchasing power on foolish out there. It's not our fault. Blame the coal. It's the political cowards when it comes to gas. I purchasing power just got cut in half. I sit back and laugh, open my bag, fill it with stacks and sats. Bitcoin, pumping, altcoins, pumping. I've been preparing for this. Can't tell me nothing.
And I believe crypto will play that type of role as a flight to quality. We're hearing from clients around the world.
Bitcoin, pump, altcoins, pumping. I've been preparing for this.
And I believe crypto will play that type of role.
Bitcoin, pump, altcoin, pumping.
We are hearing from clients around the world.
Can't nobody tell me nothing.
Crypto, depending on how you think about it. And I believe crypto will play that type of role as a
Can't nobody tell me nothing. Bitcoin, pump.
We are hearing from clients around the world.
Prepare for this.
I think that it's it. We don't need to worry about this countdown. This countdown is freaking bullshit. The market is moving. We got to talk about it. It's Sunday night. All this nonsense. Who cares about the countdown? Let's go. Sunday night, you can't hear me, but you're going to see me in a second. I forgot I'm at my house. Boom. Sunday night, we got to talk about it. What do we got to talk about? This right here. It's going. We are doing it. We are in the middle also of a trade. I haven't even looked at it. Oh, we're already up a little bit. I hopped into this because of the strength that I saw. But we're going to talk about this and more. We got somebody. little special guest that's going to pop in here in a little bit. But at the end of the day, the question is, what is happening with the market? Was it supposed to pump up? Was it supposed to break down? That's why this thumbnail said bull, bear. What the you know what I was about to say. But you know what? It's been Sunday all day here, and football, music. I'm a little loose. You guys getting me? Maybe you guys. I get $100 in super chats or whatever. I'll grab that guitar. I'll sing some stuff. But let's talk about what's going on right now, because this is it's giving some signs and signals. But what is happening? Is this something that was like, oh my God, this is out of the context? We did not expect this. No, we've been expecting this. We have been expecting this. In fact, let me do this right here. Hold on, you guys, you know you're with the guy. You know you're with the guy that has the contacts. So let me go ahead and do this. Let me just watch. Boom. There's the link, sucker. I got the contacts. I'll bring you the goods. This is what's going on. At the end of the day, let's go back to the chart, because this is a 24-minute chart. Let's go to the 6 hour. Double click. Okay, we're on. Let me move this. Sorry. So we're looking good. Now, I want you to notice something that's very, very, very present in the chart. That is, I want to ignore this wick. I want to look at the candle bodies. Boom, boom. We talked about this last week. Boom. If this happens, the bears are done. If this happens, this means that the bears tried. They failed. The bears tried again. They failed. The bears tried again, and they're so weak, you can't even tell that they're present. This is what an inverse head and shoulder looks like. So this is what we call a reversal pattern. And we got somebody that's in the wings right now who he's brand new. I want you all to know this right now. He's brand new to crypto. Please be patient with him. I'm trying to give him a shot. He's won a couple trades. He's lost a couple trades. But at the end of the day, he's a really nice guy, and he's got a really strong grip. And that's this guy right here, Mr. Oh, wait. Hold on. I got the wrong screen up. Man, I shouldn't have done that. There it is. That's my guy, Kevin Svensson. That's a joke, because this guy has been in the game longer than I could ever imagine to be. Kev, I just called you up. You're
which meme coin do I buy?
Well, hold on. Let me turn on the.
Oh, I think the audio cut out a little bit. Let me turn this light down. Hold on. Wait, why can't I hear you anymore? I mean, I can try to do this while not being able to hear you. Okay. But yeah, I mean, I can't until I hear Kelly. Right now, we're seeing some pretty promising bounces in the market. Bitcoin, starting to pump up towards 64,000 again. And the altcoins seem to be rounding off their lows. A lot of alts are still below yesterday's highs. I believe it was. If I go to, well, some of them are breaking out. I think Chainlink's breaking out of its high from yesterday. Some altcoins are still below their highs, but if the Bitcoin bounce continues from here, we're going to have, this could be a really nice area of opportunity.
Check. Can you hear me now?
There it is. Now I can hear you. Yep.
So there might be some echo, everybody. For some reason, when I'm in my house, I cannot use this setup the same exact way I use it at my studio. That's okay. But I wanted to say, I know you weren't set up for this, and I want to tell everybody that's watching right now, I called Kevin. He's a friend of mine. I twisted his arm. He said, I cannot go live right now. I'm in the middle of like 7 trades. And I said, brother, this is why we do this for our audience, so they know, hey, sometimes it's too much, sometimes it's not enough. So, Kev, you're live streaming right now with me. What do you mean you're in some trades? You're long, you short, you're done with the market, it's over? What's up?
The camera's here, right? the browser that I'm trading on is here, and so I'm just like staring over to the side.
No, dude, look at your trades, man. Screw me, screw everybody that's here.
No, I mean I caught Ethereum on some leverage right before the bounce, which is nice. It's up quite a bit here. Chainlink caught that one as well. At least, I'm kind of hoping that we get a little bit further upside. I think we probably will get some follow through, and I'll be looking to take some profit at least on all my trade. I mean, I'm in Ethereum, Chainlink. This is futures, by the way. Res, Dogecoin, AVAX, and so I'm hoping that we get another sort of push, some follow through, and then take out my initials or like 25%, 50% profit, depending on what the coin has done, and look to see if I can ride it for maybe a month for the rest of October, if possible. But of course, got to take something off the table after that initial pump, because in this market, everything always just comes back to where you bought it, right? Like half the time, it's just like right back every time. Like, and so.
Well.
Yeah.
My question is this: we came into the end of the week, so. This is actually an important question. Everybody that's watching right now, do you have a different mentality on Saturday at 2 p.m. than you do at Sunday at 6 or 8 p.m. where we're coming into the weekly close? Do you wait for where the volatility may suggest something's going? If there's a gap, if not, do you wait until the end of like sometime Sunday afternoon to where you're like, this looks like the direction of the momentum? Or do you trade on Saturday at 9 a.m. like, oh, I'm gonna hop in this trade?
Yeah, I was thinking about this today actually, because we were talking about October in the last Discover Crypto, that one we were talking about October, and you showed that chart that I posted on Twitter, and I was thinking like there's a lot of periods in the year, and just like election, for example, the election, it's always bullish during the election, right? Always, just about every time, except for 2008, always bullish. Okay. Now take that and look at other times of the year. Q4 holidays, usually pretty bullish as well. So maybe, and I was thinking, maybe just like segmenting certain types of trading for certain times of the year is probably the best move, And, we all know seasonality. We all know certain things happen at certain times of the year, but I'm saying actually regimenting the style of trades that you're doing for each part of the year. Like, it's the election, it's probably just going to trickle up for a few months. And so you take advantage of that however you can. And it's, Q2, all right, it might be a little dumpy, sideways, not fun, right? Like stuff like that. Yeah, I was thinking about that today. I think that might actually be a major adjustment that I make, because, I always try not to think that it's going to be the same every time, like to be like that, like the fractal guy or something. But times of the year actually do repeat like a lot, quite a bit. And so more and more, I think that's actually an important thing to do, is just consider what's actually going on right now. Why would the market be going up? Does it usually go up? Does it usually go down? Right? Elections usually goes up, and a lot of the altcoins are undervalued, have been undervalued for quite a while. At least with Bitcoin sitting near the all-time high, some of these alts are sitting at their lows. It's like, even if you're somebody that doesn't really like altcoins, I mean, money is money, right? Like if you know that you can make money on something, why wouldn't you just do it anyway? You can get more Bitcoin in the end,
So why? Wait, I just realized this because I was looking over here at my screen. I didn't realize that my camera. My bad, guy. Everybody, my bad.
No, you were there, right? Yeah.
I mean, I didn't realize it was so small. It's because I go back and forth from my home studio. Hold on a second, everybody. I promise. Hold on a second. I got you. Don't worry. No, but there it is. Bam. I think.
No,
here we go. Okay, no.
Before.
So the question is this: October's canceled. We had 2 or 3 4, almost 5. I mean, it was like 5.5% to the downside. The first 3-4 days of up to it's over. So why the fuck are you long? Why am I right now long as I could be? I am long. Why is it? I thought October was canceled. So what's going on? Can you share your screen? Are you on your computer?
I mean, I could. I don't know if I want to though. I'm not sure.
That's okay. That's all good. No, that's all good.
Like these are also just like new trades that I just got in, but it's like I think I got in with quite some size, and I'm not sure if it's I don't know if I want to display where my money is sitting right now. You know what I mean? I got hacked last year.
So are you long and short, or 100% short? You're 100% short right now.
100% long right now in this futures account right now.
Okay.
Though oftentimes if this is happening, the market's going up and you caught some good positions and things are up, obviously you want to maybe have multiple partial stops raised into the profit zone, and then be willing to take shorts on like Bitcoin when you think that that we might just get a downturn. Be willing to like sort of your total position size with all of your trades combined, go like 25% short on Bitcoin if you feel like it's going to round off, and but you're trying to swing trade for the next week or something like that.
No, I hear that. Now, I want to throw this to. Yeah. I want to throw it to this chart. This is from my buddy Quentin Francois. One of the by the way, I don't want to cheat on you, Kevin. But I sat and had like a 7-hour conversation. I'm not joking. It was like a 7-hour conversation with this guy.
Is he waiting? Is he waiting?
No. That's not even the right screen. My bad. Right here. What? I'm sorry. It's because I'm at home. Let me switch my camera. Hold on. There we go. Sorry. So this is what Kevin was just talking about, everybody. So I was talking about this tonight with somebody he's not only a certified financial planner, but he was a financial analyst and planner for a major corporation. And I was sitting and talking with him, and he gave me the same pushback that everybody gives, that is the same FUD that was on the news media for the last 14 years. And so I was like, oh, cool. Truth. Oh, cool. Here's the truth. Okay, cool. And so I really I rectified his mind is the best way I could say it. But what my point is with this is, you see this right here. This is 2012 into 2013. So U.S. election up, U.S. election up, U.S. election up. Now, what you know, Kevin, what I know, and what most people don't know is that whoever Satoshi Nakamoto is, and I think you and I we were just on a talk about this the other day. HBO did not identify who it was. They're identifying somebody that it's going to be in the nexus of likelihood. No, they don't know. The truth is, whoever Satoshi Nakamoto was, they were smart enough to put the halving cycle on the same period cycle of the global liquidity as well as the election. So everybody says, oh, it's a halving cycle. No, it's not, because that somehow is perfectly tied to the global liquidity as well as the elections. And so you cannot separate one from the other. And now we're at this point right here. Boom, let's look at this red box. Okay, screw this box. Let's look at this one. I mean, boom. This also happens to line up with the halving, which was right here. This also happened to line up with the halving, which was right here. So is there a coordination of one or the other, or was there just an absolute supremacy of knowledge from the person or persons that created this algorithm on a schedule that lined up with all the perfect economic stimulus?
I see, this is the thing. There's too many things about Bitcoin that are just too perfect for me to think that it was just random cypherpunk bro that was just like, here's a gift to the world, and then it just, that's it. I have to think that there were some really, really intelligent minds and intelligent groups behind Bitcoin. This is just my opinion, right? And like, if you think about Bitcoin, it could have been a coincidence, but it was almost like it was timed right after 2008, right into the global liquidity cycle. The halvings take place with the US elections and with the global liquidity cycle. And it's just like so perfect. Like, it's just so well timed. And I'm thinking, okay, so this guy was, Satoshi, or he or she was genius, created Bitcoin, right? And then there were also an economist and knew all about that too, and perfect timing. It's like, I don't know, there's got to be something pretty sophisticated going on with, the creation of Bitcoin. In my opinion, it doesn't even matter what, everything that I just said, even if it's true, it doesn't matter to me. Bitcoin is still the same Bitcoin. And even if, let's say it was like, oh, the NSA created Bitcoin, it doesn't even change my opinion. Like, it actually almost makes it more likely that Bitcoin will succeed, right? Because there's somebody with a lot of power behind it, and they want to have the currency that is global and that has a $10 trillion market cap. So they're gonna want to push it, and if they have that much power, that's good, I guess, for Bitcoin. Of course, nobody would like to hear that some central power is owning, a million Bitcoin, but at this point, it is what it is.
So Kev, I'm not even joking. I want everybody that's watching right now, I want you all to know this. I was out and about in Woodstock, Georgia. I was, watching football, listening to music, and I came home. I did not pull up a chart. I saw it when I was on my phone when I was out and about. When I came home, I made a thumbnail. I called Kev. He goes, I can't go live right now. And I said, Kevin, you're fucking going live right now. He goes, I'm in trays. I said, this is what we do for a living. This is when we need to talk to people. And the reason why I say that is this chart right here. This is the others chart, which is everything in crypto outside of the top 10. And I'm not even joking. I have not seen this until I pulled this up right now on the stream. Hold on. I can't even do that. I got to come over here. I gotta put a little, like, I don't even know where this signal is. Hold on. Right here. Boom. Let's put a little target. Boom. Look at that. This hit right on the level. What is the level? The downward. Oh, look at this. From back here, March 24th, which is what? About a week and a half after the Bitcoin top, which is when? March 13th. And look at this. Look at where this hit the thing. Boom, right on the money, October 3rd, October 4th. This is the altcoins.
Yep, that's good.
And I actually have a question for you on this, Kev. Yeah. And it's this. Do you think, because I think this is actually different, and I hope you agree with me. If not, I'm going to have to throw you off a cliff. It's this. There's a capital flow cycle everybody talks about, Bitcoin, Ethereum, altcoins. But I feel like, and I could be wrong.
Actually, I already
wrong,
thought of an answer.
but I feel like this whole capital flow cycle is changed in a way that there's no reason why right now Bitcoin's slightly pumping and altcoins are pumping on the same schedule. It's almost as if like there's enough greed in the system that's like, no, fuck the waiting. We're in right now. The second Bitcoin pumps, we're in, because this should not happen. If this was 2017, this would be a month later. If this was 2020, this would be a month later. But this is on the day. What's happening? Talk to us about it.
So basically, like, okay, so let me just, my example, when I'm trading, let's say I'm doing short-term trades on alts. I'll have the trading platform up, and then I'll have...
Well, I have to stop you for a second. Kevin, I love you. Here's the deal. I'm going to throw you off the screen. Everybody that's watching right now, if you're watching on YouTube, hit the like button, hit that subscribe button, ding the bell. If you're watching on YouTube or Twitter, here's the actual true story. If you're watching anywhere that has video, that makes you live to be able to watch this. There's no reason you should be watching this right now. This is free content. Come down here, right here on my page, at Kelly Kellam. Hit the retweet, hit the like button. If we get over 40 tonight, I will give away $200 USDC. We'll draw for it by the end of the night. But at the end of the day, if you're watching this kind of stuff and you're frustrated, I watch football. And I cannot believe the entire time I'm watching, I don't know if I'm watching football or commercials. You're watching right now. I have no commercials during this live stream. I bring in the best in the business. Hit that live tweet. Hit that retweet, hit that like button, and if you don't do it, your mother didn't raise you right. So I'm going to throw it back to Kevin and make Kevin realize also, Kevin, you should be hitting that retweet, motherfucker. All right, let's go.
Oh, wait, I haven't even looked at Twitter.
Exactly. You see what I mean? We don't realize. We're like, I like this. Oh, that's not me. Yeah, it's you, Steve, Martha, Belinda, every single one of you. Hit that retweet, hit that like button. We're going to give you $200. And Kevin likes you so much, he's going to match it. He's going to give another $200 because we want you.
I guess my money has been volunteered. That's fine.
We want you all to like this kind of content. We want you to be involved with it. But no, continue talking. I interrupted the shit out of you. Sorry. I've been drinking tonight. So you're getting loose Kelly tonight. Shit.
I mean, listen, like you called me, you're like, yo, Kev, come on stream. And I was just like, I don't think I can. Like, I'm in these trades. But then you were just like, hey, he's like, there's nothing to, like, just come here, just hang out. And we're just going to talk about crypto. And there's like, no, it's not going to be some sort of high pressure thing. I was like, all right, you know what, fine. So now I'm sitting here trading while talking to you. But what I was saying was, Kelly, hold on.
I'm sitting here. Hold on. That's not the right screen. Where's the right screen? I'm sitting here in a 40x leverage trade. Now, given it's a small position, it's like, I think $300, 376. So it's a very small position for me because, in the past I've done 500,000, 400,000, 2 million. This is a 376 times 40. So you can see right here, this is a $15,000 position. This is no offense to anybody watching. For me, this is a very small position, but you said you were in a position. I said, okay, you know what? If we're going live, I'm going to get in a position. So I cut you off. Shut the fuck up, no, Kelly. Continue on, Kev.
When you called, I was like, yeah, I got in these longs. He called me just like half an hour ago. And he was like, all right, I'm going long. And you just went long. That was funny. But what I was going to say is the reason why altcoins follow Bitcoin so closely, the question you asked before, why is it that the altcoins are just tracking right with Bitcoin all the time, kind of? It's I was going to use myself as an example. If I'm trading an altcoin and I see that Bitcoin is coming down to a support, and then there's a low time frame candle that like a nice support bounce, or like a 5 minute or something, and I'm trying to like scalp or just go long on an alt, I'll wait to see that candle in the very short term, and then I go long, right? And then I throw in a tight stop and just see if I can get in a nice position that way. And that's why, right? It's like people like me that are trading, I'll see Bitcoin bounce, and then I'd hop over to this coin and I go long, and then it's like, well, there you go. There's 100,000 people like me doing that, right?
Oh shit!
We got Matthew.
What's up?
Yeah, what's up?
Can you guys hear me? What's up?
Yep.
Hold up, let me lower the brightness on this. There we go.
Yo, we got the guys in the house. We got Matthew Highland, Kevin Svensson, Kelly Kellam, and we're trying to figure out this market is about to break down because the bull market's over. We're cashing out, right? This is done. It all failed. This is the OG thing that I've been waiting on my entire goddamn career in crypto. I got my favorite motherfucker. Come on, man. What's going on?
Dude,
Shit.
How much did you drink, man? What the fuck?
No. I had a couple Zimas. A couple
where are you
Zimas.
streaming at?
I'm good.
Are you streaming on?
He's at his house. He said he had a couple drinks.
No. I mean, YouTube and Twitter, or
Yeah, we're everywhere. So no, here's the deal. Kev, Matt, if you guys both retweet this, This is going to be like a 6,000 person watch. We got 554 in the room right now. Let's talk about the markets. Let's talk about what's going on. Kev, Matt, everybody retweet it. Tiggle Biddies. Yes, that's a name in our chat. Token Tide, Tintris, Mads AMT, Alexandra G, our homegirl. Everybody that's here. Everybody retweet this. I told you Kev, do you remember what the number I said? I said if we hit a number, it would be $200.
You said 400 likes or something?
No, it was retweets. It was 40. It must have been 40. So if we hit 40 retweets, we'll do a $200 USDT giveaway. And now I'm roping in Matt because he told me he wanted to do this too. He's going to give 200 as well. And he's like, wait, what?
Turning this into a $600 giveaway.
I don't know what you're talking about. I have no idea what you're talking about.
No, I'm just joking. Everybody, show some love, share this stuff. We got the best guys in the business. These, honestly, I'll say this. I mean this. I'm going to throw it off your face. If any of you ever liked anything that I've ever said in this market, and I have nailed these calls beyond reproach. I have nailed the calls over the last year. Some of the biggest influences on me have been Matthew Highland and Kevin Sminson. These guys are the legit OGs. I've been in markets long before I've been in crypto. I've been in markets since 2012. But these guys are awesome, and I met them both. And by the way, this was of Matthew Highland's doing. He reached out to me. He reached out to Kevin before Consensus last year. I don't even remember what it was. The beginning of this summer. And I was like, yeah, you know what? This is my guy. He's reaching out to me to come out to this. And we connected. And Kevin... And then we went to another conference. We're brothers in arms now. And our goal, and I want you to know this, our goal, it's not even our goal, it's all of us. Kevin, Matt, me, they have their own Patreons. They have their own communities. But they're the only, I don't want to say the only two because I don't want to disparage everybody else in the space. But I've met them personally. They know the markets. And their goal, everything I've talked about them with no camera on was, man, yeah, we make money. Shit, yeah. How do we make sure that we can protect the people that are in our communities? It was such an honest thing that I said, these are the guys that I'm going to bring to the BitLab because this is what I'm about. How do we make sure that we can help people rise the tide so all of our ships get better? Fuck all the extra money because in the influencer space, it's hard for you all to realize. It's very hard as just an audience member to be like, I know what's going on. No, these two guys, their only goal is to make sure that you know what the truth is. So I'm going to shut up now. That's all.
Let me see if I could share my screen. Just give me 1 second.
Do it.
No,
and
yeah,
I want you to know, Kev, when he shares a screen, and everybody that's watching, I never prepared my setup to have 3 people and a screen, but I can do this on the fly because I'm a talented guy.
I think we'll be fine. I think we'll be
No.
fine.
It's just going to take me. It's going to take me 8 seconds beyond when I do this. Hold on. Boom. Now hold on. We can't see our boy. Copy, paste. Hold on.
You could put me on the You could just put me on the right side.
No. Shut your mouth. Don't talk back to me, dude. What are you? My father? Are you my father?
Impromptu stream.
This guy.
And so wait now.
No, that works.
I don't matter. So here, this is you and Kev, and then I'm gonna be a baby.
You can put yourself on the right side.
So, do you have Matt's desktop screen there?
He has his own up right now, I think.
Oh, God damn it! That's not what I wanted.
Hold, I could just move.
No, shut your mouth. Come on.
I'll just use this side of the screen. I won't.
No, wait.
Oh, guys, we can't. The stream can't be setting up the stream. We gotta just pick something and go. You can just do a one-shot setup. Don't even switch scenes. Just put us all on one screen, and then we can just go. You know what I mean?
There we go.
There we go.
Yeah, you guys are more important. That's what I'm saying. I'm good being just a tiny guy.
I just see like your like neck kind of, and then your chest. Yeah, that works. That works perfect. Just put yourself.
Yeah, there you go.
There you go.
Right,
I'm Yoshi. I'm Yoshi.
So the moving averages I've been using probably for the past few months have been the 43 SMA on the daily time frame, as well as the 10. You look at the 43 SMA. I'm going to close the 10 out. It's been used every single time we've gone below it. We end up putting in our next low, like down here when we lost it, and then over here we lost it right here, putting this low. The only time it had a failed signal was right here over the past month, and then every single time we've gone above it, we put in our high. So when Bitcoin came back down over the past few days, it retested this 43 SMA for about 3 or 4 days. This ended up holding, which is pretty significant, and now we've moved above this resistance right now, which you could clearly see it was resistance here, support. So getting above this was kind of significant. And the other SMA that I use is the 10 SMA. This is for shorter time frames on the daily time frame. And we're currently above that as well now. So usually when we get above the 10 SMA, it usually leads to more upside. And we're seeing that right now. It's not as reliable as the 43. We go above and below it more constantly or consistently. But reclaiming it is a start. And now if we look at the weekly time frame, in my opinion, right, there's been like a lot of chatter and debate I've seen on Twitter. I'm not sure how you guys feel, but in my opinion, this is a higher high. And I see a lot of people saying that this isn't a higher high from last week, but I would say this move, right, off this low back in August, this was about a 30% move.
From the August high, that is a higher high. I mean, it's a higher high from the August high, but it's still a lower high from the
Whoa. Wait, the one thing I will say, though, because I was talking with, who was I talking about? I don't remember. Somebody else that's big in the space. But that 65K is a big number. However, something that has not happened yet, which I didn't really even consider, and this is why it's so, by the way, I want everybody listening right now to realize Kevin is an OG. Matt is OG. I'm an OG. None of us have the answer. You have to trade for yourself. You really have to make the decision for yourself. The reason why I say that is when the person said this, I was like, you know what? I did not consider that. And that is coming to this chart right here. Sorry, that's not the chart. Boom. This chart right here. Let me move my face. Boom. Hold on. Sorry. It doesn't matter. I'm irrelevant. 65K, what you see, this zone right here, that's actually not so important. What's important is this. 69, what is that? Let's look. I want everybody to realize, see this OHLC, open, high, low, close. So put my mouse over this. The high is 70,040. So this is not really this high is nice. This is a start. This is a high. This is the start of something. This is actually breaking through a new high.
Well, I would argue that this is a high. Oops, this high back here. And then this was the first lower high that we've seen. And this move right here from 49K to 65K was the largest move we've seen in the last 6 months. So the people that are saying that this wasn't the high, I just disagree with it. It's the largest move. You look at the measurements of these moves. Off this low, it was about 31 or 30%. This one was 32%. This move back here was about 26%.
Yeah, so, it was the high we got off of the biggest bounce in the range.
And I get the argument too that you could say, well, this 70K is more significant. And it's like, okay, but then 72K is more significant. And then 74K is more significant. Really, when you're looking for a trend change, the first sign of a trend change is a higher high, which also confirms the higher low. And that's what we've seen. We've been basically in a downtrend of lower highs and lower lows for the past 6 months. And this is the first time that we've seen a higher high and a higher low. I agree, like, yes, breaking 70K would be significant. But if you're trying to identify the trend change, this was the first sign that we started to change direction.
So if you had to give a percentage basis, if you had to guess, and this is, I'm not going to hold your feet to the fire, but if you had to guess, would you say we're more likely to break beyond that 70K now because we had that 65K break? Or would you say that it's still kind of 50-50 in the cards?
What I told, like, on YouTube and Patreon and even on Twitter, I believe, I think regardless of what happens here, right? I said when we got up and made this higher high, either we could see a pullback down here or we could continue up and then get up to 70K, or even we don't even have to break 70K. As long as the next low is higher than this low down here at 53K, like let's say we came all the way down to like 56K, right? That's perfectly fine because that would still be a higher low. And then we can come back up and then make the next higher high. In my opinion, like right now, we're at the first signs of an uptrend, which is higher highs and higher lows. So we have a lot of room where we could even go to potentially, or we could just continue this up and then maybe get to 68K and then make the next low, which could come maybe at 60K or whatever, or it could just break through 70K potentially. I would say at this point though, that the odds of breaking 70K are well over 50% over the next few months or weeks or days potentially, just because we've now established an uptrend.
Well, I have to say, first off, thank you to Andy D. Andy D, you just became a member. You get access to all the member live streams that we do here. Thank you for joining in. But I have to say, Kevin, I don't need you to share your screen, but I need you to share some transparency, brother. You're in a couple longs. What assets are you in longs on?
Okay, so it's a bunch of futures trades. I'm in Ethereum from 2,444, Chainlink from 1132. I think Dogecoin from a 0.11299, AVAX at 2713. So I've been trying to get into some of these. I mean, AVAX, that one was more recent, but the Ethereum long is that's the biggest position in the futures account right now. It's doing really well. Caught it right before the bounce even started. And so now we're kind of just ranging up here on the low time frames, hoping that we just keep finding higher lows and get another leg up. But of course, there's always, like I always say, like, it's the crypto tradition. I don't know, like when you're trading, that it's going to come back to your entry. You just always have to think it's probably going to come back to your entry. On a normal day, it always comes back to your entry, right? That's how I see it. So you got to, take some profit, expect that you could have your entry challenged after getting in, right? You should almost expect that every time. But right now, I mean, I really like what Bitcoin's doing. It's October. We're going into the election. Every election in history, except for Obama, the election and inauguration was bullish, right? Going into it, right? Sometimes we would top on the inauguration, but it's every single election in all of U.S. history right after World War II, they were all bullish except Obama because of 2008. So, I mean, I don't see why we shouldn't be bullish right now. I think we should be. Like I think it's almost foolish not to be. You're looking at the S&P. It just confirmed its previous all-time high from July as new support. Bounced off that level. Bitcoin's been kind of in a lull. There was 1 month where Bitcoin didn't follow the S&P, and that's why we haven't hit a new all-time high yet, but it follows every other month. It was the only month we didn't follow the S&P's direction was June. So June, we went basically, for some reason, we just like decoupled to the downside from the S&P, but every other month, same direction. And so now we confirmed all-time high support for the S&P. Bitcoin's probably going to bounce. And what Bitcoin likes to do is it likes to kind of make you wait, and then it'll have a directional correlation with the stock market, but it'll make up for like a lot of the days that it missed in a very short period of time. So I think that we're going to see some surprises in a good way from Bitcoin. I think it's going to snap up a little bit. Maybe not necessarily a god candle, but I think it'll surprise the skeptics is what I'm expecting coming up through October.
No, but so I appreciate that. But you said Bitcoin, you said Ethereum. Are you not in any altcoin trades whatsoever outside of Dogecoin?
No, Chainlink, Res, Dogecoin, Avalanche. These are all the longs I just took not too long ago. There's some size to like the Ethereum position is like, I mean, I'm using futures, of course, right? It's like a $125,000 position for Ethereum, which I'm really hoping I can kind of just sit on it, but I have stops raised, multiple partial stops, because that initial entry is always the most treacherous part. You don't know if you're going to be able to stick with it. Is your idea right? Is it wrong? Who knows? Always expect that it's going to come back to your entry, right? At least that's a good defense. So just multiple partial stops layered up to sort of where the current price action is, just in case there's a downturn. But I'm hoping that and I think we might, if we keep getting higher lows in the very short term right here, we'll probably get another leg up. But you never know. It's like a good weatherman, right? Would you blame the weatherman if he was wrong about the weather? You ask him, hey, what do you think the weather is going to be on Tuesday? And he goes, yeah, slight rain. And then it doesn't happen. You go, sir, you told me it'd be slight rain and it didn't happen. Would you be mad at the weatherman for being wrong? That is the exact same thing as all three of us do. It's like the weather. It's like you're predicting things that are just completely outside like what you can see, what you can imagine. There's forces that you don't even understand that are causing the weather to do certain things. That is the market. That is how the market is. And so we all, and this is going back to your point from 10 minutes ago. That's like kind of just how it is. It's like you can't, too many people expect us to know if it's going to be cloudy or not cloudy on Tuesday, which is Yeah,
I mean, that's a great point. Now, the reason why I think that's so nice that you brought that up is people watch these streams and they say, this is where it's going to go. We don't know. And because Kevin, you trade actively. Matt, you're very much more macro focused, but I don't think you share it with your community as much. You trade as well. And so it's breaking here first, I know. But the reason why a lot of us don't share that isn't that it's right or wrong or good or bad. It's the fact that people don't know how to differentiate. If I'm in a trade, it doesn't mean you need to be in a trade. If I'm in a trade, it doesn't mean this is a trade to take. It means I'm seeing something, I got in, and I have a risk tolerance. I know my time horizon. I know my exit strategy. I know everything. And so 88% of the time, there's not enough, even now, I have a whole trade community. It's called Signals Lab. It's in the description right below this video. But the truth is, the majority of the trades I take, I cannot share them because I'm taking them in a moment when I'm out and about and I'm looking and I'm like, I know this so well. I'm willing to risk this. I can take this. I probably share 6% of the trades that I'm actually taking because part of it is the ability to have the time to know what's my layered entries, what's my layered exits, what's my strategy, all that. So what were you about to say, Matt?
No, I was going to say something. It's difficult to, if you're doing futures and stuff like that, it's hard to share. I mean, it's hard to share trades that are slightly higher risk because sometimes when you're trading and the market is sort of in an extreme zone and you think there's an opportunity, you might take an entry, get stopped out, and try to reposition multiple times to get it right. Right now, of course, doing that can easily lead to taking big losses. So you have to be very careful with doing that. But if it just takes a bunch of repetition and experience. But you just try to sort of reposition if you're very confident in your idea, and then eventually, hopefully, it goes in your direction. And it's like, what are you going to tell your community? Hey, I'm getting in, up, stopped out, repositioning, stopped out, repositioning, stopped out. Okay, I'm in now. And then they're like, yeah, what the hell? What was that? And I'm like, listen, man, it's a little dirty, it's a little hard, it's a little tricky, right? But like, that's how it can be, It's not,
Yeah,
it's not
100%.
always just like easy, And so if it's going to be a shared trade, it's got to be something, a little bit more cozy, 3x, 5x, 4-hour chart, wait, having a reasonable expectation of time and all that stuff. That's what a shared trade needs to be for your community. Because I've shared all the short-term stuff, and people have a really hard time following, because I get into something, and even 30 minutes later, an hour later, I'm like, yeah, I raised my stop into the profit zone, and I got stopped out for a profit, and they're just like, oh, like, I didn't see that you said that. I'm like, here's
the deal. They only see you enter and they go, I lost money. You're like, well, I was in and out of that 7 times. There's no way you can actually share that. What about you, Matt? Where are you at? Because I know you position yourself, at least on the public sphere, as a much more macro person. Are you actively trading at all?
I have, but I also realized too that trading, especially like with leverage, like Kevin was saying, like with the positions, you might have to try if you're doing high leverage. You're gonna have to try like 10 times perhaps, and you'll get stopped out 9 of those 10 times. But if you can hit on one of them, you have to be consistent too. If you're trying to set up a trade, it sometimes is difficult, but when it gets going, it's obviously good. But I would say, especially for people that are trying to trade high leverage, it's just very difficult because let's say you're on, even if you're like on let's say 20x leverage, right? If the price moves 1%, that's a 20% loss. So if you have like a stop loss of 1%, that could easily get stopped out, and then you take a 20% loss. So you'd probably want a stop loss of about 0.1%, and then take the 2% loss and hope. I mean, you have to try of 1%. You have to try multiple times. That could easily get. I think I could hear myself. There we go. But actually, I also have pulled up. We were talking about the stock market. If you look back, like Kevin was saying earlier, since Bitcoin's inception, it's gone through, I think, 3, because it came out in 2009. So it's experienced 3 elections. So if we look at the 3, the 2012, 2016, and then 2020, if you look at this, the market didn't price in all this upside, right? Back in 2012, after the election took place, we saw all this upside afterwards. Then you go to 2016, all this upside afterwards. And then 2020, all this upside took place afterwards. So I think like with Bitcoin, it's basically the same story, especially now with the ETF. I think it'll end up following if the stock market continues up afterward. Bitcoin will follow, and Bitcoin's pretty much also basically on time. If you look back historically, it's basically done this same type of thing for the last 3 election cycles, where we set the low in August and then slowly moved up into October, November into the election. In 2020, we actually moved up in October. We started to get the push. So we'll see if October it starts now. But I would say also with the election, especially, I'd say it's pretty significant, just because with Gary Gensler, if Gary Gensler were to get fired, I'd actually argue that's even a bigger catalyst than the Bitcoin ETF for the entire crypto space.
For sure.
They're both very large catalysts. So like we saw last year, what happened.
Well, that's for the rest of the market, right? Not for Bitcoin.
I would argue. I mean,
I would argue to be more for Bitcoin.
But
I think Bitcoin would perform better.
I would say,
well, maybe, but
no, I would agree with Kevin more, where I'd say it's more significant for the alt space, but I also just think the perception of the entire space in general, whether Bitcoin like Bitcoin, even though it does have its ETF and so does Ethereum, I think it's still kind of tied in regardless of whether it wants to be or not, with the whole crypto space. And if you start to see all these lawsuits get dropped and VC money start to enter, it would just be a drastic shift. And like we covered it a few times, Kelly, where we saw the SEC actually going after the venture capital firms back in August. So not only were like coins getting targeted and exchanges getting targeted, but we actually saw like venture capital firms getting targeted. So this space became super unattractive, in my opinion. So if Gary Gensler gets removed and fired, it would just be.
Let me ask you this: Have you guys seen this chart? This is Alley Charts. This is October 1st. The last 3 halvings, not just 2020, not just 2016, but 2012. This is October. Look at the start. This is post-halving, of course, but this is October. This is the start, October 1st. Look at this. October 1st. Look at this. This is 10,000, 10.9 thousand, 3.1 thousand, 539%. Now, are we going to get that same thing? No question asked. Am I guessing we're going to get 539% this halving? No. If I had to guess, I would say, I still would argue that this was cut short, but you can't just assume that this is going to be beyond that. So let's say it's 300%. 300% from 63,800. So it's just shy of 64,000. 3 times 6. We're in for a good bull market. Even if it's only 2. 2 is 120,000. 3 is 180 to 200 something thousand. And we've got some work to do, but we are in the best position. I would argue the most asymmetric risk position that we've ever been in the history of crypto, Bitcoin. This is the best position we've ever been in our life. Now, did we get bigger gains this cycle and this cycle? Yes, but this was risk. This could have been stopped at any time. The governments could have just been like, it's done. What people don't realize, when we say this is the most asymmetric risk position, we have the biggest institutions in the history of the world that have ever managed money that are now like, okay, yeah, we're going to sell these products. So does that mean we're going to get 5.3%, 5.4%? No, sorry, 5.4x. I didn't mean percent. No, but at the same time, it's risk adjusted, a better position.
There's a strong argument that all the institutions are going to create some price control there. So market cap is higher. There's a bunch of sophisticated money, like sophisticated traders coming in and there's, BlackRock's algorithmic trading. It's going to become a little bit more stable over time, right? It's not going to get more volatile than it was 10 years ago, right? It's going to get less. It's just common sense. But yeah, I think that Bitcoin is obviously destined for multiple 6 figures at the minimum, right?
Hey, Kevin, I have something very important. Very.
Not this. Hold on, let me make it clear. Not this. I wasn't saying like multiple 6 figures this cycle. That's not what I meant. Because people are going to say that. Oh, Kev, you said that. I have to make that clear right away. Because otherwise, someone will click out of the stream and think that was my opinion. But anyway, go ahead.
No, it's this right here.
I read that too.
Matt, you have the hat on. You got the Jets hat on, and somebody's commenting right now. We've got 2,062 people in the room, and somebody just said, "Yo, why do the Jets suck?" You got the Jets hat on. So what do you got to say about what's your divergences?
Because of the head coach, he's awful. Like everyone knows that. So if he ever gets fired, then I think things would change. But he's the worst head coach in the NFL, probably.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. So, Matt, if you had to take 3 positions right now, and you cannot consider Bitcoin, if you had to take 3 positions in the market right now, which coins and which direction? And you can give a time. It might be a 1 hour. It might be a 4 hour. It might be a week. are you long on everything in your mind, or are you, hey, we need to be a little cautious for a second, and then we're
I'd
good?
have to look at. I'd have to look. I mean,
Motherfucker, we're looking right now. Talk to us.
I mean, Fed, we've discussed.
Sorry, go ahead.
No, like Fed, for example, we've discussed. So Fed, but I'd have to look if you're talking about right now for to hold over the coming.
Let's say you want to hold it through the end of December. Pull up FET, pull up BitTensor, pull up.
Right, I would say FET. I actually Say too, because Say followed Sui last cycle or last year and did pretty well. And then third, I mean, there's so many coins, especially that are breaking out against Bitcoin or have done well against Bitcoin over the past month or so. So it's kind of it's a hard question. But if we go to, I had the others chart just pulled up, but I just lost it somehow. If we look at others, right, this is alts outside the top 10. This also made a higher high last week, right? We saw that. And then we saw this pullback. But I'm looking at this now, and this kind of looks like a gigantic this was a double bottom in my opinion, but this is kind of invalidated by going below. But this does have the potential to be a huge, I'd say, inverse head and shoulders, right? Potentially, if we ever broke above this area, I do think a lot of these lower cap alts are going to fly. But this chart, this is also showing the same thing that Bitcoin is showing. And then interestingly enough, Ethereum is the one coin that actually hasn't made that higher high yet. But if Ethereum ever got above, let me see if I can find a box. They make this so difficult. If Ethereum got above this $2,800 range, right about there, this would be super significant, especially for the altcoin market. This would be a higher high to start, but just breaking back into this range would be massive. And really, Ethereum, I know Kevin's discussed this, and I've discussed this as well. A lot of these alts are really not doing anything different than what they did last cycle. If you go to Ethereum, for example, Ethereum last cycle was down about 60% when Bitcoin broke all-time highs. It was around $600. So this is the candle right here, December of 2020, when Bitcoin broke all-time highs. Ethereum was down 60% from its all-time high back in 2017 or 2018. But then what happened after? It basically went right to all-time highs and then continued up and ended up going up to about 4,300 within 6 months. So for Ethereum right now, it's down about 50% from its all-time high from 2020. So Ethereum's it's actually doing better than last cycle compared to what it was doing against Bitcoin back in 2020. I'm getting a little lost right here, but so really Ethereum, even though it feels like it hasn't moved yet, my whole point is that it's really doing exactly what it did last time. It's actually doing a little better than last time. And when this move started back in 2020 for Ethereum, it just rolled and just continued to send upwards for weeks and weeks and weeks and weeks. And I do think when Bitcoin clears the all-time high area for good, or for this cycle at least, for this move up, I think Ethereum is just going to launch probably at that point. And it'll catch a lot of people off guard when it does happen.
So Kev, you're in some longs right now, right?
Yeah. It's for futures, yeah.
So I'm in a long right now that's 100% irresponsible, and I'm not going to hold your feet to the fire on this. This is 100% irresponsible, but this is on the 15-minute chart. Look at this nice little bull flag starting to break out. I mean,
where are you? Is this okay? Yeah, I see. You're.
Let's go to the 5 minute
in the current range, yeah.
Yeah. So
yeah, I mean, it's kind of like a coin flip. When you long in a spot like that, you're basically just flipping a coin. But right now in the very short term, Bitcoin, it looks like it might want to push up again, but the short term is always wacky. You might get some, like a big push, or not a big push in the short term, a push up that turns into like a wick rejection back below the low of that range to hit your stop loss. Then it goes up. Like those are the things that always happen. But if you're lucky, it'll just go right where you want it to.
Yeah, everybody, what he's talking about is it's like, oh, I'm right. And he goes, oh, fucks you. And then it launches. It's called a whipsaw.
But that break back above, like that break back above into that range would be like where you would want to long it, like again.
Yeah. Yeah. Can we just say something that we all agree with? These markets are so exciting because you and I, Kev, you and me, Matt, you and I, all three of us, I've been in these markets since 2015, 2016. And I was trading before that in 2012. And there's never an answer. You can learn everything you ever could want to know about everything here. And there's never an answer. This is why it's so exciting. And all you can do is say, this is where I'm willing to put my money. And you have to be willing to lose it. What I've really learned about this, you have to be as sure as you are. You have to be willing to lose every dollar you place into a trade. And if you're not, you're going to lose it in this market.
Kelly, I think you need to take shots.
I think you just gotta. One thing is like at a certain point, you kind of just have to have conviction in the space and in the industry, and just stack stuff away that you're just gonna hold, right? Like all the trading stuff is fun, and it can make a lot of money if it's the right time, right? The right time of the year for certain types of trades has the best result, right? If you're at a point in the year where it's sort of like neither here nor there in the middle between election cycles, and it's cute too, and the market's just like sideways and down, well, you got to trade the range, you got to scalp. You can't expect too much from what you're trading. But if you're catching like an election season, okay, maybe you might get those sort of like spectacular setups, but it's important to just adapt to what's going on or what time of the year you're in, or whatever it may be.
So
I'm not even sure if I answered it.
No, you answered it entirely. So Matt, I want to ask you, like we were talking about this Friday. Kevin and I were on Around the Blockchain, and we were talking about Satoshi and that does it matter who it is, and the next question was, does it matter who the next president is? What's your thought? If it's Trump, how does that impact the market? And if it's not, if it's Kamala, does that impact the market just on an altcoin level, or does that impact the market on the everything level?
I would say, I think regardless of who wins, I do think we'll see upside. I think the market just wants more certainty. That's why it waits for the elections. Even in, like I showed before, in 2012, 2016, 2020, it didn't matter if it was a Republican or Democrat who won. The market ended up going up afterwards. But for some reason, the market kind of waited until the election was over with to then make its big move up. I would say the same applies for crypto. But I do think Gary Gensler getting fired would just be a drastic, huge catalyst. It's just gigantic. It's hard to understate how important it is for this whole space, because if not, a lot of these coins and whatnot will end up in court for multiple years, like we saw with XRP. And it would just be a process that would take a while. So it's just, I would say for the altcoin market, it's more important. For Bitcoin already has the ETF. I think it would help regardless, but I don't think Bitcoin or Ethereum really need it now because they do have the ETF. So, and you can make arguments on both sides too, like as far as who would be the bigger catalyst. It could also be who prints more money. And I don't know the answer to that. They both probably will print a lot of money. But in the end, maybe that could be the bigger factor in the end. But it's a question we won't know we won't know both answers to anyway, because if whoever wins, the other one's not the president, so we will never know how much money they're going to print anyway. So it's really just guessing.
Well, that brings up a good point, because I talked about this with the people at the Hit Network. I was talking to TJ and a bunch of other people, and on the one hand, I feel I realize it's a weird realization to have. I realize that I don't want any more money to be printed as a moral thing, But then as somebody that's in the markets, I'm like, print everything you can. So it's a weird dichotomy between, the mass populace is screwed. But on the flip side of it is, if you're in markets, it's like, dude, print everything you can. Like, I want print. I would love you to print, because that's a direct correlation to fuel that can go into the car from my race car, which is my investments, to drive up the mountain. So how do you contend with that?
Kelly runs into a Fed board meeting, kicks the door open, and says, "Print everything you can." That's what I imagine.
No, but you know what I mean, right? Like, the funny thing is, I don't want them to print, because that's what's breaking our system. But as somebody that's an investor and that's also trading the markets, I'm like, print everything. Like, what's the answer there? What's your thoughts on this, Kevin? Because as an investor, you want it because it's the fuel for the risk side of the market to get fueled. On the flip side, it's the worst thing that we could need for our economy. So how do we contend?
Well, if they just keep printing like that, in that way, it'll force, not force, or it'll just make the inevitable happen. It'll push the world. People will be going to Bitcoin faster than ever if they just kept if it just got out of control. So, I mean, Bitcoin is the safety boat, whatever you call it, right? The ship sinking, the lifeboat. That's Bitcoin. You have a lifeboat, you don't have one, sucks. Like you're gonna sink. So that is it's like Bitcoin's like the buoy and like the water level. I don't even know what I'm trying to say. You guys know what I mean. I was
I get it.
I get it.
It's just going to keep.
I would
you
say,
afloat
actually, to be
in a
honest
time
with
where
you,
there's
Kelly,
infinite money printing. Sorry, wait,
I would say without the money printing, it would actually make things, I feel like, a little bit easier to invest overall, because you don't have to then worry about the unpredictability of the Fed. But at the same time, as we know, long term, they're just going to keep printing off money. So if you know that, then you pretty much know that everything's going to go up in price over time. It just is what it is. And I think more people are learning about it. Definitely more people are aware about it over, I'd say, the last 5 years. Like, if you talk to people about inflation like 3 or 4 years ago, no one knew what it even meant. Now every single person knows or I'd say most people know what inflation is. I have talked to some people that had no idea that prices have gone up over the last few years, which blew my mind. But there are people out there that I just don't pay attention to the price.
Can you tell me who they were so I can sell them something? I mean, how could you go to any store? How could you go to any store in the last 4 years and not realize eggs cost 40% more, milk costs 30% more? I mean, anything you do. I mean, there's not a thing that I do. There's literally not a thing that I do that I'm not like, wait, how much are you saying this fucking cost? There's no way that you don't know.
Well, I mean, I think it's also important.
I mean, apparently, sorry, I have to say this because this sounds cold. I don't mean it to. Matt, you must have a bunch of people that are stars on Love on the Spectrum.
No. It was just, people in Austin.
Again. Yeah, exactly.
Well, yeah, true, I guess. But
they say keep Austin weird. Isn't that the saying?
Keep Austin weird, yeah. I think I've heard that before.
I have friends from Texas. They had it on their fridge.
So let me ask everybody that's watching right now. We got 2,479 people watching right now. Big love to each and every one of you. I want to give a special shout out to the best politician ever. That is Kamala Harris. I'm just joking. No, that's our boy right here. Kevin Svensson. I'm gonna share his page. I want you all, every single one of you that's tuned in right now, make sure you go give him a follow. It's right here at Kevin Svensson _ These are all non-Cyrillic lettering. This is just regular, just type it in on your keyboard. You can find him. Give him a follow, please, because he is one of my favorite people in the space. And then the other one is Matthew Highland _ Funny, these guys coordinated 4 years ago. They just like the underscore, apparently. But it's Matthew Highland. That's two T's. No. Give them a follow. And we're going to take you over here now to this is what's the other thing? Not Kathy Lee. What's that diet pill?
I'm lost. I just got really lost there. How do we get to diet pills?
I have no idea.
Jenny Craig. So these guys are both sponsored by Jenny Craig. No, I'm just joking. No, sorry, guys. I've had a long night, but we have to continue talking about these markets. Make sure you're following them, and of course, make sure you're following me right here. I want to point out specifically, it's not that I'm like, hey, come and follow us. Don't follow Kevin. Don't follow Matt. Don't follow. The reason why I call this out is because Matt, Kevin, and I will all tell you there are 137 fake profiles for each one of us because we're major content producers. And the reason why I want to highlight this is because there's so many fake profiles out there. That's the number one reason. So make sure you're following everybody on the right level. And I do also want to say right here, right below this, you see this? It says my page right here. If you're on my page at Kelly Kellam, if you hit right here, if you hit that retweet, if you hit that like button, and I told you, if we get 60, we're going to give away $200 tonight. Kevin said he's going to match it. And even if he doesn't, I'll match it for him. Matt doesn't know. He's going to match it. And even if he doesn't want to, I'll match it for him. If we get 60 retweets tonight, this is in the next, I would say, 40 minutes. You guys got some money to win. Just hit this retweet, hit this like. And even if this does not happen tonight, I do a giveaway every Friday. So you still have a chance to win. So I want to throw it back. I want to throw it to Kevin now. Kev.
I was going to say that it's that's actually a very important point about the fact that, we have like 2,500 people on Twitter watching. There are fake accounts that'll look like any of us, and not just Twitter. It's on YouTube. It's on Discord, and they're going to like ask you to send them money. We will never ask you in a DM, hey, how's your trading going? You want me to trade for you? Send me your money.
No.
That is a scam. Don't send people money just because you think it's one of us. I mean, like, that's ridiculous, right?
YouTube as well.
You should know.
The YouTube streams as well. You'll see there's like a lot of the Vitalik ones, especially if the bull market starts to come back. You'll see like a lot of the YouTube streams.
Vitalik, Michael Saylor, and Elon Musk. And they're so legit. They're so legit. You're like, wait, are they really giving away 3 for 1? No, they're not.
No. Or they'll say, they'll send you twice as much back if you send it, and then there'll be a bunch of replies saying, oh, yeah, I just sent an Ethereum to whoever, and I got 2 Ethereum back. This was the best deal ever, or something like that. Those are all fake. Whatever you do not send your crypto to anyone at all.
Literally anyone. Just don't send
unless
it to anyone.
Unless you know the person 100%, I would not. Don't do it. It's 100% a scam, and the scammers will use all different methods to try to get you to do it one way or the other. So
if
don't sign anything
Bitcoin,
either.
Don't give it to them.
Yeah, don't give it to them, and don't sign anything with your wallets that you don't know. There's a lot of those types of scams where
you can get your wallet drained.
Yeah. On that note, I want to take it to something that because I gotta give some credit. Matt, you share great charts all day long, every day. And everybody out there, if you're not following Matt, I'll say it right now, you're an idiot. Follow him. It's the easiest thing ever. And I want to share it now to this chart right now. This is a chart from Kevin. He posted this the other day, and it's a very important chart because I shared something similar. It was much more smaller time frame, but this shows essentially since May, right? The beginning of May, end of May, drop. Beginning of July, end of July, drop. Beginning of August, end of August, drop. September. Now the question now, and this is what most people don't realize. They see this, they go, well, There's a month up, a month down, a month up, a month down, a month up, a month down. This must be a month down. However, the reason why I would argue, and I haven't even talked to Kevin about this, I'm just an analyst.
Sorry, I'll let you finish.
I'm just an analyst, and so this shows instead of the following August to September drop, like through September, right? Through the end of August into September is when you look at the structure of the chart. If you come up, sorry, that's not the chart. Where is it at? When you look at the structure of the chart, double click. This also is coinciding with the structure of this kind of bizarre head and shoulders pattern that's setting up, but also the low, the higher high, the higher low, and then there's a lot of structural differences. And then in addition to that, if you don't even believe that, cool. Money flow here, you can see on the BitLab trading stack, flipping right back into positive. There's a lot of things that are indicating this time is different than what we're seeing where was it at? That was, I don't even know where that chart is. Here we go. Then we're at right here. And so this is showing the start of a reversal. It doesn't mean the reversal's there. This is only invalidated if we break below 52,000, 52.5 really. But Kev, I'll let you take it away. What's your thoughts on this? Because this is your chart.
So what's interesting is, well, first of all, this was brought to my attention by one of my Discord members, Wen Moon, give him credit. We were in a voice chat in the morning, and he just sort of brought this up, and I was like, wait, that is so, like, I didn't even realize it was just about every month since May that we would go up through the month and then dump. Now, the one difference here is that we've been following the S&P's direction like very much like every single month, except for June. And that is the 1 month that you see on that picture, which you just moved away from. If you go back to it.
Oh, I'm actually pulling up the correlation here. Is S&P and Bitcoin.
But go back to the image if you can.
No, we're broken up, dude. We're done with each other.
Anyway, So wait. In the month of June, the S&P was going up and it was hitting a new high. And that was the only month where Bitcoin didn't track the S&P. And it's kind of bizarre. Other than that 1 month of decoupling to the downside, May, we're bullish. We dump into the end of the month, July, bullish, dump into August. Bullish, dump into September. Bullish, dump into October. Bullish, dump into, that's been at least so far the pattern. Now, that is just in this current range. That could change this month. It could change next month. It's not going to continue to be just that. But I find it interesting, and it could be sort of, October could be the final month of that reoccurring sort of monthly upcycle with a dump into the next month. Going into the election, the S&P has just confirmed the July all-time high as new support, bouncing off of it. The S&P always hits a new all-time high before Bitcoin. It's never happened the other way around. So, I mean, if the S&P just charges into these new all-time highs here, Bitcoin's probably going to have a really swift push to the all-time high in a fashion that the skeptics and the people that sort of are giving up on Bitcoin because it's been so boring or whatever, like it just feels like it's dragging on. Right when people give up and you feel that way, at this point is like kind of when things might just surprise you. I think we're going to see a couple. I'm not saying it's going to be like a God candle, but I think we're going to see some surprise candles from Bitcoin where it's going to wake people up from their sleep. They're going to be like, whoa, okay, wait, we're back. Like this is happening. Bitcoin always does that every cycle. It'll just have its alarm goes off. You wake up, you realize, oh, we're here, game on. And so that's kind of what I'm waiting for. And the S&P needs to keep charging into new all-time highs for that to happen. At least historically, it was a requirement. So, yeah.
Well, what I'm looking at is the capital flow, the sequence of the capital flow into the cycle trends. If we look back in 2017, which is right here, this is 19.8, whatever it is, down to 3,100. This went 3,100 to 14,000. This, ignore it all. Ignore the price. I think you both would agree with me. Price is probably the most destructive thing to people's ability to be profitable because they get so focused on what it was, what it is now. Fuck that. It's irrelevant. Look at the data behind the price, right? In this case, we had this huge negative capital flow. So this is similar. If you think about it, this is money flow. We had a huge negative money flow and then a little bit of positive flow back to negative. And this right here, this huge downtrend, this huge flow. This was perfectly correlated to when we had COVID. This was not, and what people need to realize, this is not Bitcoin. This is the world markets. Everything crashed, everything. So in a way you could, I don't want to say ignore it, but this is a data set that is irrelevant to what's happening in the cycle. This was the bottom. It was 7,400 and then it dropped, boom. But so my point is, if you take this aside, boom, ignore this and realize we had this huge negative flow right here and then a tap down, boom. And then this is, irrelevant. But this little tap down, this is why I think a lot of people, I think you guys you may not agree, but this cycle, as weird as it feels, because this feels so long, 7 months sideways. This is very similar to what we saw in 2017 with this kind of rounding of the price. But we had this massive downtrend in the capital flow and then dop from massive inflows back to zero, where it was like, let's call it max fear. Max euphoria, max fear, max euphoria, max fear, max euphoria, max fear, max euphoria, max fear, max euphoria. And then finally we had the top. This is where we're at right now. We had a bit of a euphoria that it actually makes me laugh. People are like, that was the top. I'm like, there's maybe two signals that could suggest that. But if you consider Mt. Gox redistributions, when you consider all these other things, we're actually doing incredible. We had Germany selling. We had Mt. Gox 140,000 distribution. Let's call it, let's dumb it down to 80,000. Out of 80,000, 72,000 of those coins that were redistributed, they see at the same level of those being redistributed also moved off of the exchange. So, and now we also have today is October 6th. We have October 7th tomorrow, which is the appeal for the FTX thing, which I don't think is going to be, there's a little uncertainty around it, but there's $16 billion coming back. That is people that were crypto, 100% crypto focused people that now they have $16 billion that's coming back. Do you think they're going to be like, let's throw it in Netflix? No, they're either 15% are going to move out because they're burned out, which is likely going to happen. 15%. The rest, 100% is going to go back into crypto. And we're seeing this right here, which to me is the same as this right here, which to more importantly is this. This is to me the same as this. And what do we see? Dip, 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 dip. And what do we see? 7 to 8 moves of 20 to 40% or more from the bottom to the top. And right now, this is the most bullish thing I've ever seen in the history of Bitcoin. We've consolidated 7 months at the previous all-time high. I mean, let's go, man.
See,
am I wrong?
That's what I've been saying. I don't, it's really the altcoins that are making people so, like upset or whatever. But if you go to the monthly line chart, if you could pull that up, go to the monthly chart for Bitcoin, turn it off candles, turn on the line chart. And you're like, if you imagine like this past year, you see people like freaking out, and then you look at the monthly line chart. It was kind of funny to see that. If you can pull that up, Kelly.
Which one?
The monthly line chart. Just go to a chart, turn off candles, turn on the line, and do the monthly.
Kelly, someone wants to know if Pepe is going to $69.
No, it's following XRP to 589 yen.
No, yeah, that's it. Just go to Bitcoin and then hide the drawings and just zoom in. Like for the whole year, we look at that. We were just sitting at the previous all-time high, basically on the monthly line chart. And so if you were looking at the monthly line chart and then you were looking at social media, it was really, really funny just from that perspective. You're looking at the monthly line chart and then you read social media and you're like, nothing's wrong. Like we're literally at the all-time high, just hanging out, just waiting to break out. Of course, when you turn on the candles, you start to see like more wicks. And, you know, wicks psychologically, they play tricks on you. They look a little bit dangerous, or like, you know, you got to be careful about how the way that certain setups look affect your mind. But sometimes opening that line chart on a high time scale is a great thing to do, because you just remove the noise. The line chart is accounting for candle body closes. It's not showing you wicks. It's just going with the closes. And you can see, you know, where did the market settle up? That's what the line chart's showing you at the end of every period. Where are we settling up? What did the market agree on? And you can get a better perspective. The line chart of the monthly looks incredible for Bitcoin. It looks like we're about to just, you know, see a huge breakout. That's the daily? Yeah. But
what do you want to see?
The monthly. Yep. And then zoom in. Basically, go.
Hold on a sec. Sorry. By the way, there's people in the chat that are giving me shit because I'm slurring. I've been drinking. It's Sunday evening. And I said, you want me to just, you know what? Let me just end the stream. No, fuck that. We got to get into these markets, whether you're drinking or not. We got to talk about it.
Yeah, no, Kelly just this is a random stream. Kelly just called me. He goes, yo, get on my stream right now. And I was like, yo, I'm trading. He's like, dude, get on my stream. I was like, all right. Because I was like, as long as it's not something where it's going to be too demanding, I can just chill, just sit here and chill with you guys. Then that's it. That's cool, you know.
So here's the monthly. What do you want to see?
No. I just wanted people to see simply how good Bitcoin is positioned in the long term on that time scale when you just remove the wicks. It's looking great. It's looking like we're going to hit a new all-time high. Like it's like it almost looks like a 1 minute chart ready to just like pop up when you look at it that way. But yeah, so I mean, it's an election, guys. It's an election year. Stock market's near the all-time high. Likely Bitcoin hits a new all-time high. I mean, if I just had to look at history and take a bet, it's a pretty high hit rate that Bitcoin would be hitting a new all-time high right about now. You know, right about now.
So what do you make of this chart that you shared with me the other night?
That was the chart that I made a while ago. So that chart right there is showing a reducing ratio. I used ChatGPT. I basically plugged the numbers for cycle low to next all-time high, cycle high to next cycle high. So you see the lows touching the high. So it's like just measuring, obviously. And the ratio, so 60,000% from cycle low to high, to new all-time high, or to peak, I should say. And then basically it's 6,000 divided by 6, 10,000 divided by 5, 2,000 divided by 4. Now we're at 500. So, and then you do it in the opposite direction. Now I had to, when I was using ChatGPT, the way that it was calculating the reducing ratio for the peak was just not right, because it was sort of bringing it way lower than it should have been, because it didn't understand that I was talking about a market, something that has growth. Sorry, it's hard to explain what I mean by that. And I said, well, ChatGPT, you know, this is actually the Bitcoin price. I'm trying to figure out a reducing ratio. And then it goes, okay, let's adjust for, you know, considering that this market could see growth. And so then it landed on those numbers. And so low end 95,000, high end 190,000, and then about 142,500 is the median price that, it was a calculation, just sort of most likely based on past performance. But of course, I mean, it's a different world we're in now. After COVID, a lot of things changed. So you always got to keep an open mind. It could be lower, it could be higher, who knows, right? So another thing that I always tell people is you got to have time targets. You can't just have price targets. You got to have time targets, because if you're only waiting for a certain price, basically if you look at all the cycles, you look at the long-term chart, you'll see there are certain times based on certain events, certain quarters or the election, right? Time is a huge, huge factor. It's almost as important as price. So you got to set a time target. This time period, I'm going to be selling this much. And then if we also hit that price, then I will also sell this much. That way, you're taking profits. You're going to take profits, because one of them is literally a clock ticking. And so I think it's super important, because people just wait for price and they don't realize the secret is that time is actually a much bigger deal than you think. Things that, the global liquidity can only be trending up for a certain amount of time. It's going to come down. So if your price target hasn't gotten reached, too bad. You got to sell.
No, I mean, I'm right there with you. So I want to throw it over to Matt. I don't want to hold you guys too long, maybe 3 more hours. I think the max.
Kelly, you got someone hitting on Kelly. You got someone trying to hit on you on the chat. I seen.
No, they're all giving me shit because I'm slurring. You know what? Cute. I'm bringing alpha from all the. Am I a little drunk? Fuck yeah, I am. But I'm here. I'm doing what I need to do, and I got my boy.
Listen, it's a Sunday night. We'll give you a pass. You're good.
No, Matt, what are you looking at right now? Because you've been looking. You called FET beyond before all this happened. You called Sui to my audience beyond Sui all this happened. But then we had BitTensor. But then we also have Aave, which was like. There's been some Aave. Weird altcoins that have been leading the charge. Is this a cycle to where it's not Bitcoin and then it flows over to other stuff? Is there some stuff in this space where money's going to flow into it regardless of the capital flow nonsense that we all try to say? Because there's no way to figure this out.
Well, I mean, for the most part, a lot of these coins, you could catch the breakouts based on their Bitcoin pairs. So I'll just
Do you say cash me outside?
It sounded
I'll fuck you up, son.
Just give me 1 second, because we've gone over this a few times. Like Sui, for example, which is the hottest coin basically over the past month, or larger cap coin that's been hot. We were able to, let me just hide this for a second. This was pretty easy, or not easy, I'd say, to identify when the breakout would happen. So this was about a month ago, this is back in August. It had the initial move up, and then it went down against Bitcoin. But when it broke this level right here, it put in a higher high against Bitcoin right there, broke out. And then what we saw this huge uptrend. And this is when Sui was around, I think, $90 or $85. It went up about 100% after. So if you compare these coins against Bitcoin, they're pretty, when they break these resistances, they're pretty good afterwards. Usually they pretty much start to run for the most part. And that's how we were able to catch pretty much all those altcoins that ran against Bitcoin over the past few months. And there's a bunch now reclaiming resistance against Bitcoin. If I go back though because I was going to show Kevin, let me see.
Sui's. I noticed that Sui's been just showing just like awesome strength. Like it's been one of the best coins so far.
I'm trying to find my S&P 500. So you were talking about before. I had it set up. Let me just move this back. Go to 3 days.
Wait. Do you guys know? Do you guys know this? Where's it at? This whole deal. This surprised me. Sui surpasses Solana daily transactions, no failed transactions, no outages. Sui also surpassed AVAX and Polygon and TVL. Next up, Base and Arbitrum. So we have this idea on the one hand of price action, how it lines up, but then also the flip side, How do you balance that with these fundamental things? Because some people might be aware of this, some people not. Does this matter?
I mean, I would say the
Sorry, go
chart.
ahead.
I would say I would look at the chart more. I think the chart is more telling. I mean, user growth is good, but there are coins where you see. I can't think of the one I'm thinking. There's one off the top of my head that saw like the activity rise a lot, but the price didn't really reflect it. And you also have to consider like the supply of the coin or the inflation amount as well. Those are all factors too. So I would just
Right.
stick to the chart
And
mostly.
Sui just had like a massive unlock, didn't it?
I think so, yeah. And even like Solana last year, it was increasing in supply, but the price kept going up. So like sometimes there's a supply expansion, but the price still goes up, and then other times there's a supply expansion, then you see it kind of stall out or go down. So I would just stick to the chart because there's so many different things you could look at for the most part, but it doesn't always have to respect it.
No,
But
continue on.
Kevin had brought up how the stock market went up this year against Bitcoin. And we actually saw this last year around the same exact time back in May. This was May of 2023. The stock market broke out against this area. This was like resistance right here. Broke out, but Bitcoin really didn't. It moved back up to this high from back here, but it didn't really move up the way the stock market did. But then eventually, when Bitcoin broke out, we saw it move up a lot. It accelerated essentially against the stock market.
Yeah, it's interesting because in that range that you just pointed out, it bounces with it, then it gets a lot of resistance and just sort of sits at that point, goes sideways, and then once the S&P reverses, then Bitcoin also reverses after that weird sort of flat top. And this is something that if you go back to 2018 and look at the 6K level. People think because it looks different, like Bitcoin, the S&P, they like appear to be different looking at that point in time. You got to adjust. Yeah.
Back here. I should just have the
Bitcoin chart. Yeah, the 6K level, that one. If you just line it up with the S&P, and sort of almost like get the breakdown of 6K lined up closer with the top of the S&P. I mean, basically, you'll see what I'm saying. Bitcoin holds 6,000 until when? Boom, the S&P reverses, right? And so even though they are not like perfectly aligned, 6K is holding because the S&P is trickling up after getting a lot of volatility. It's trickling up, reverses, and then the floor goes out on Bitcoin. And so the same type of behavior is what we just saw in that example from May, where the price tries to bounce with the S&P. Right there, yeah. It tries in that box, and then it can't quite just keep going, but then it dumps with the stock market. And so that's just the way that it's
here's
been
another
speculated.
interesting one, actually, too. The year before that, even here, if you look at this. Hold on, let me get a box. If you look at this right here, right, the stock market, they both dumped together, but stock market, this is the same exact time frame, the summer, June, July, August. Stock market made a higher high kind of here. It went above this area. But Bitcoin, if you look at this, Bitcoin was not even close. So for some reason in that time frame, in that May, June time frame, 3 straight years, the S&P 500 kind of made a move, and Bitcoin didn't follow. This S&P 500 made a higher high right there above this area, while the Bitcoin didn't get anything. It just kind of got
I think it's probably something to do with the way that speculators are behaving at that time of year. You know what I mean? I think that's probably something like that, or they're on vacation, or what is it, July? Yeah, like, maybe people just aren't focused on it or something, right? It's got to be human beings.
But it's also like how like the seasonality too. Like usually Q4 for whatever reason is Bitcoin's best quarter. October is Bitcoin's best month historically. It just seems to play out over and over. I was gonna go to
right.
Oops. Hold on, let me share that again. My bad. All right, there we go. The M2 money supply. So this updates at the start of every month. So we just got this update with the M2 money supply. This is for August, the August update, and we saw this is a pretty sizable bump right here. compared to the previous 2 months, we kind of saw these slower moves up, but this is starting to accelerate. So this only goes to August, so they kind of updated, I think, a month after. So this is like the most recent data that we have. But you could see the M2 money supply is starting to move up. And at this rate, if you were to like draw a line, if you start from like here, I wonder, this would suggest that by September, probably, maybe even sooner, the M2 money supply is probably going to be breaking out to all-time highs. We could see this just go straight up, though, obviously, like we saw in 2020. Like right here, it just went vertical. But it's definitely moving up now.
Yeah, I mean, that's interesting. I wonder what. Yeah, is it just going to go straight up only?
Yeah, who knows? With the interest rate cuts, I would assume you're going to see more money supply expansion.
Right, and that's what's that? That's November 6th, 7th. So November 7th is we'll find out we'll find out right after the next election.
Yeah, it's the same week. So the FOMC meeting is the same week. I wonder if, just for fun, if I drew a parabola, I wonder if there's anything there. Nah, maybe. I don't know.
Exponential rise in the M2.
Yeah. It might.
I mean, if you look at it in correlation with what's happening with China, it seems like they're digging themselves out of a hole that we look at it in the news, but we're not really able to really capture it because the news is very sculpted for what's coming out of China on the money side. But it seems like I was covering a story last week that we have printed, like not we, but the world, I guess we as people on the world, $1.426 trillion in the last week and a half. So that's not in the U.S. because that's not really. It's only stealth right now, but in China, it's like they're literally on the cusp of true massive issue. But they also have the Hong Kong ETFs that launched. They also have the softening of their stance on crypto. They also have what Russia September 1st. Just changed. They're doing international trade settlement in Bitcoin. The argument is, or the suggestion is, now that's likely going to be happening in China as well, but it's not clarified yet. It seems like so many things are so bullish that, as bullish as I am, it almost makes me want to be like, wait a minute, are they fucking with me? It makes me wonder,
I've seen a lot of mixed sentiment over the past, especially in crypto. There's been a huge just everyone's got a different opinion. People say it's over. It's like we're just going sideways, right? In the past, since March, the same percentage down as percentage up on each of those pumps and dumps, you could have made the same amount of percent gains in either direction for Bitcoin if you were trading actively and you just caught each top and each bottom, right? Which nobody does, but just as a math thing. Same exact percentage gains to the downside and the upside on each of those. So it's like neither side is really winning except the bulls, because we're sitting above, around 60,000. After, in the beginning of 2023, most people thought that saying the number 50,000 was like completely ridiculous. Now, a lot of people always seem to just forget that they were super bearish, because I remember I said $50,000 when we broke the weekly RSI downtrend in what was it, the beginning of the 2023. I just mentioned the target, and people were like, "Oh my God, how could you say that?" All this stuff, and then people always just act like, "Yeah, we're here." It's like, wait, but weren't you? It's like, anyway, all right. I don't know. People, It's just something that's always people being unaware of what they were once thinking and saying, and then what they're doing now. It's like you're not going to really learn if that's what you're doing, People's
sentiment shifts very fast, I've noticed. Like, let's say in a month from now we're pumping, like everyone's just gonna be like, "Oh, I was bullish this whole time," When like right now, like
Yeah,
most
I always put that
people
in
are
tweets.
kind of like either bearish or kind of like hesitant. No, there's really like I don't see anyone really too like super bullish. But in a month from now, if everything's pumping, everyone will be like, yeah, I was bullish the whole time. Like
So,
this is what I
so I'm
expect to
going to
happen.
share some with you guys that doesn't matter at all, but I just think it's interesting. And that's this chart right here. No, there's many more lines you can see up here. I've turned a lot of stuff off. And essentially because I'm an analyst and I look at the price and I look at Fibonacci's and one day, this is like 3 years ago, I was looking at the price. I was like, okay, so we look at golden pockets, we look at 382s, look at 936, we look at 872, all these different Fibonacci extensions and reductions from a move. And I was like, one day I was looking at it, I was like, this could, and I still don't have an answer. I was like, this could be completely irrelevant, but if we're looking at what everybody says is so important, the realized price, which is, if you look at this is actually, that's short-term holder. Sorry. This is the realized price. This line right here. The realized price is the average coin of every coin in circulation the last time it moved. And so one day I was looking at it and I was like, what would price bands, like the band, like all these bands that you're seeing, these are all, I said, what would it look like if you did Fibonacci extensions and reductions of the realized price? And again, I still 100%, I will say this wholeheartedly. I don't know if this matters whatsoever. However, what I will say is I did these Fibonacci bands and I coded this in on Glassnode. I typed in all the math. I did it. And so what you see back here, 2015, 2016 into 2017, this is a Bitcoin price, just so if you're blind and you don't have any sort of intellect whatsoever, this is the Bitcoin price. And I want you to notice this pushes up right here, right into, and this is the bull control band. Boom. And it rejects, comes back down into this and finds support right here on the bull. See that? The purple line? This is a bull floor band. So bull control comes down, bull floor, and then it just moves up to the upside. Now, the reason why I think that's important is because you look here, and I didn't like try to make this happen. I literally was just this was like somewhere in this region here is when I coded this. Price pushes up, bull control band rejects. Yes, it lost a bull floor band, but this was also like an economic catastrophe here. And then boom, as soon as it got back up to this, I want you to notice. As soon as it got back up, look, bull floor, bull floor, bull floor, boom, up to the upside. Now, when we look at where we're at right now, I'm going to zoom in.
Yeah, whenever it gets back up there, it sort of just catches it and starts riding along, That's what at least probably what you're trying to say.
Kevin, someone had a question in the chat for you.
Yeah, exactly. Look, this deviated above, just like it did back in 2013. 2019.
It's on the side. They were asking what kind of chair does Kevin have?
Found support. Boom. That's all I'm saying. But the chart in the background is a irrelevant bear chart. Wait, is that a chair?
I didn't even know what brand it was. It's a decent chair. It's kind of nice.
I thought I said chart.
No, the person says that they don't like it.
There's a type of chair that has like a curved seat that like is really good for your back and your posture.
Herman Miller. That's what I have.
It starts with an H. Their company starts with an H.
Yeah, Herman Miller.
Oh yeah, that's what it is.
I'm sitting in it right now. So.
Nice. I didn't even like. I don't know. I don't research chairs. So like, my buddy told me about it, and I was like,
I would say this was like the best chair I ever got. Like game changer, complete game changer.
Wait, why can't I see the chat? Like, what's going on here?
Well, we got 31, 33, 31, 30 actually. Only 82 likes, which means only 82 of your mothers raised you correctly. I want you all to know, we don't care really, but it has a huge impact on the back end of the the content provider that you're on, for them to be like, oh, this people like this. Hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. Make sure you're following Matthew Highland at Matthew Highland _, and Kevin Svensson at Kevin Svensson _. Kevin Svensson's also on OnlyFans. He's got a great foot channel. What else should we talk about tonight, guys? We've been going for a while. I feel like we got a good number of people in here. I would hate to cut it short.
Create an OnlyFans account with my name and take the money from people.
Only charts. Onlycharts.com.
Only charts. We should make that one. That'd be a good one.
Dude, let's do it.
How
about this? I see Andy D's, Mads Aren't, Flat Smack, Alexander. We got a bunch of people here on YouTube. We got a bunch of people on Twitter. I'm going to watch right now. If you're watching on Twitter, comment down below 2 charts you want to see. I'm going to look over there in a second. If you're on YouTube, post one, but I'm going to look at 2 different people. Type in something you want to look at. We're going to have the OGs of the world here give you, it's not me. I've been drinking. I'm going to throw it to these guys. You guys let me know who you want to see.
I have to wrap it up, actually, Kelly.
No, we're going to in the next 6 minutes.
Wait, hold on. How do I not? I'm on Twitter all the time, and I somehow don't know where. You guys say there's a chat here. I don't see.
No, it's on the streaming. It's on the streaming side from the. Guest.
Well, on YouTube, you can just comment below.
Yeah.
Oh, it's YouTube. I thought you said Twitter.
Oh, it's on YouTube and Twitter. We got 3,152 people.
You should just start lying about the numbers to get it hype. 31,000 viewers.
We got 31,000 viewers. Yeah.
Maybe the YouTube algo would pick it up if you.
How about this? This is actually great. Matthew Campbell, Matt, you can do this. This is great because I've been talking a lot to a lot of people lately. I actually think I've been wanting to focus on this more on my channel. MicroStrategy, Master, because Master is actually performing better over the last 7 months than IBIT or the futures are. So it's actually a great chart to look at. MSTR.
Let me see. MSTR. MicroStrategy.
It still hasn't hit a new all-time high yet. That's the best part. 2001, the overvaluation was wild.
Oh, way back here, yeah. It's like,
or 1999 or whatever it was.
Yeah.
Think about how crazy that is.
Yeah.
That's how strong human emotion is. They'll speculate into the the highest, most ridiculous price.
I've got about 7 people that I know, and one of the guys is the best business guy I've ever known in my life. About 14 years ago, he was making like $2 million a month. This had nothing to do with crypto. He's just he has his own crypto protocol. I don't want to blow up his spot, and I'm not trying to sell his thing, but he has like an $800,000 option position on Master, January $350, and if that hits, then it's a game changer. That's like a 11x on the option that he has. So,
you know what's interesting though, MicroStrategy. If you put this up against Bitcoin, actually, let me see. I'll show you. Bitcoin USD against MicroStrategy. Right here, it broke to new all-time highs over the last week. Or not new all-time highs. Actually, is it new all-time highs? No, not new all-time highs, but it has broken to new local highs.
New local highs, like regional highs, yeah.
Yeah. This goes back. I mean, but this was before Saylor was buying Bitcoin, so I'm not going to look at that. But yeah, it's outperformed. So MicroStrategy, since Saylor has bought Bitcoin, has outperformed Bitcoin. He bought it. Well, actually, he bought it right here, around this time, 2020. He bought it like in August, and it so this was the high basically from back in January 2021, it looks like, and it's breaking above it for the first time.
Well, here's the deal. I want to share this with you real quick. It's this chart right here. And this is average returns of Master, IBIT, and Bitcoin futures. And the reason they chose futures was because these are 24, not 24/7. This is not 24. These are tied to the stock market timeframes. So they use Bitcoin CME futures to mitigate that sort of differential. And this is Master blue. Look how much it outperformed. And the flip side of that is, how did it do on Dow days? Master outperformed on down days also. So in a way, it makes you kind of wonder. Like I'm all about Bitcoin, but I'm like, all right, is Master something that I should be like figuring out how to trade because it's going to outperform and under drop? That's kind of an interesting thing that I'd never seen before.
You mean MicroStrategy?
Yeah.
Master? Okay. Well, I mean, you
MSP,
can, but it's also it's very
calling
volatile too. I mean, these were the high was around $200 and the low down here was around $102. So it was a 50% swing, while Bitcoin only had was it like a 31% correction. So it's definitely more volatile than it's basically, I would say, like a leveraged Bitcoin kind of. Like
it probably is.
1.5x.
I mean, if you hold Bitcoin, I mean, holding some MicroStrategy in your stock portfolio as like Matt just said, a leveraged Bitcoin, why not, right? If you want more exposure, that is.
I think it's doing well now, or it's breaking to new local highs against Bitcoin because Saylor is using his Bitcoin to get yield. And then I think he's using that to buy more Bitcoin. So in theory, like that model, it means if Bitcoin goes up in price, he'll get more yield. And if he gets more yield, he'll be able to buy more Bitcoin. So it is kind of just like a leverage Bitcoin play, I'd say. I haven't really followed exactly what Saylor's been doing completely. I kind of like lost track, but.
Well, what I'm curious now, because I haven't really looked into it, is like how much resources has MicroStrategy allocated to the Bitcoin sort of side of things? Like how big is the company, right? And like how focused are they on Bitcoin? What changes have they made? And why should it correlate so closely to Bitcoin? I just haven't actually took the time to look at all that. But it's probably worth doing.
I think it's almost like it's almost all in Bitcoin, really. Like if you were to evaluate MicroStrategy, it's what's the?
No, I mean, I think that's it. I think that the majority of their business, because when they had $500 million in their cash treasury, when they took the leap in 2020, everybody said Michael Saylor is an idiot. And he did it, and this is kind of like the story of crypto. You're an idiot. We've all done it. But everybody watching right now, I guarantee, actually, let's do this. Everybody that's watching right now, if you're really into this market, how many of you have brought this up to your friends and family, and they've been like, they've been less than like, oh, you're a genius. How many of you have been like,
no, people
you had to defend this nonsense, right? Where they're like, they don't understand. And they say Bitcoin's printed out of nothing. And you have to, it's very hard for me in my mind because I'm like, sorry, I have to curse. It's like, motherfucker, what do you mean this is printed out of nothing? What the hell is $1 printed out of? Fucking nothing. Nothing. But we're so used to it, we're okay with it. That's not okay. That is not an argument. Because you're used to something, that doesn't mean it's better. No, Bitcoin takes people. The reason why I think it's so frustrating is because it makes people confront the fact that they don't know where their money comes from. And that's the bottom line. And so when Saylor dove into this in 2020, 2021, he was a laughingstock of Wall Street, and their company is worth about $700 million, $1 billion. And now their company, MicroStrategy, is worth $35 billion. Why? Because they were willing to go through all the nonsense that everybody was judging because they didn't understand. And now what happened? Before Bitcoin spot ETFs, before BlackRock, before Fidelity, they were the Bitcoin spot ETF proxy because they understood it. And it took up until, I don't even know now. Now I think BlackRock's up almost 400,000 Bitcoin, but this has been very fast. 3 months ago, MicroStrategy was still the largest Bitcoin owner in the world. And now Fidelity and BlackRock both eclipse them. But it's also because they have tens of thousands of the biggest investors in the history of the world that are their clients that are buying Bitcoin. So it's a very weird thing to really dissect and understand. But it's brilliant on Michael Saylor's part.
So MicroStrategy's market cap is around 35.77 billion, but the Bitcoin that they hold is around 14 billion.
Well, I think it's a forward promise. I think that's a more accurate. I think that's a more accurate reading than OpenAI. What was the investment that just happened on OpenAI, and their valuation is like 140 billion. I think MicroStrategy's is much more accurate.
Well, yeah, it is. It definitely
I'm
is.
assuming MicroStrategy is still, like they're doing a lot of other things, not just Bitcoin. That's why I was asking that question earlier, right? They're still doing MicroStrategy stuff. They're just now sort of have this Bitcoin layer to them, which is, I think, really, really an awesome look for, tech company. Very, very cool. And they're sort of pioneers in that. So that's,
I think also
he's like a rock star now in a lot of ways. People that like barely even look at Bitcoin know who he is now.
I think also
he
work on Bitcoin too as well. So that's like they're trying to, I don't know exactly what they're trying to do, but they're trying to like build stuff for Bitcoin or on the Bitcoin network now. So I think that also plays into it because there's really no other, I'd say, major company trying to do that right now. As far as I know, it's mostly like private companies probably. So it's like the first public company that's starting to try to like build stuff on Bitcoin. I know Saylor said he was doing that. He was messing around with like the ordinals and stuff. I think had something to do with ordinals that he was looking into, or his company is building stuff for. So
I think, what I think Saylor should do? I think he should, since he's got so much in Bitcoin, he should be looking and sort of hiring researchers for network security and just like threat prevention, like all that stuff that, with AI quantum, like I think he should just go in on that if he's got the capital for it, just because it's a good defense, a good offense, right?
Well, I mean that's our main thing now. Like he said, he's like they switched because they were a business to business software development company, and they were doing well. Like the funny thing is, to us as like the layman, we're like, what do you mean you like? Michael Saylor was kind of, I don't want to say ready to hang up the coat, but he was like, okay, we're not growing. We got $500 million in a cash treasury. We need to figure out what we're going to do, because if you realize in your life, if you're not growing, you're dying. And I think Michael Saylor realized that. He's like, well, we're not doing anything that we lost.
Oh, and I think he probably just left. I can't hear you. Oh, there we go. I think that worked.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah, now.
Okay, cool. Michael Saylor realized it. He's like, I can't. We're not really growing, so he dropped out. Like he's like, I'm just gonna invest in Bitcoin, and it's either gonna work or it's gonna not. And he did it. Same thing with my cousin Matt Kellam. He has this drink. Many of you, if you ever watched my live stream on a daily basis, I have these drinks behind me. Yes, the Yes drink. They were about to declare bankruptcy and just close the company. And because of that, they decided that was going to happen if they didn't meet a threshold. And within a week, because they made that determination, they sold like $70,000 worth of Yes Drink in a week. And they're like, okay, but all of us need this. And I want to use this as a moment of inspiration for everybody. Sometimes you think it's over. Sometimes you think it's done. Sometimes you think, but really what it more often than not is that you didn't give yourself the ultimatum that I'm going to do this, or once you give yourself the ultimatum, you say, this has to happen or it's done. When you give yourself the ultimatum, whether it's a relationship, whether it's life, whether it's love, whether it's physicality, it doesn't matter what it is. You enact a different action policy, a discipline policy to where it happens. And you're like, well, why didn't this happen before? Because you never gave yourself the ultimatum before. And I think Michael Saylor did the same thing where he's like, this is happening. And it was that or nothing else, right? And Kev,
yeah, Elon Musk,
you're a successful guy.
With SpaceX.
Kev, I got to cut you off for a second. You're a successful guy. I guarantee that you had a moment because we do this, and it's all about engagement.
All is lost. The all is lost moments, plenty, right? I mean, honestly, it's perspective too, because in any cycle that you're in, you're used to where you are, right? And sort of your valuation. And there's going to be an all is lost moment in every cycle in a way, there's going to be moments where you're like, oh, it didn't work out the way that I wanted, or this or that. At least it'll seem that way. Like a lot of people, they end up giving up because they don't have enough experience through cycles to sort of understand how this goes, how long it can really take, right? A lot of people treat crypto kind of like a slot machine, They just want to they just want to pull it down and get the reward. And when it takes, 6 months to do anything at all or go in the direction that they want, a lot of people, they feel entitled to the gains, and then they just I'm done with this or something, right? But it's there when you learn how to trade and invest. I mean, the only thing that you're going to be doing when you first start is making mistakes, right? It's a very tricky thing. I mean, unless you're just doing something really basic, one of the best methods, time tested, is literally just stack Bitcoin and just keep adding. And just don't sell. And, now we're near the next all-time high. You could just do that, right? But mistakes are something that, are actually totally essential to everything that you do, especially in markets. You have to get burned. You have to feel that, just don't touch the hot stove when you're a kid. You touch it, burns, not going to do that again. I mean, that was the most basic sort of way to put it. But I'm not even sure if I answered your question, but I think it's essential to feel pain at some point and then just know that if you've done it once, you can do it again, all that kind of stuff.
No, you're right on the money. I'm sorry. I'm having issues with formatting. There we go. Boom. Got it. Somebody asked if I could look at ordi swap, so I'm pulling that up. Actually, this is a great question for you while I pull this up. Kev, what's your thoughts on Bitcoin DeFi? We have stacks, we got ordi swap, we got orange, we got all of it. Doesn't matter. You don't even have to talk about those different individual plays. Do you think, because now we also have wrapped Bitcoin on Base from Coinbase. Do you think that the DeFi sector within Bitcoin is going to be something that's going to pop off, or do you think it's a pipe dream?
It's inevitable. I mean, look, people are just going to build. People are just going to build, and They're going to find uses for it, and they're going to make it happen, right? I mean, it's just like you can't stop innovation. It's just a train. It's moving, high speed. It's going that way. It's going to keep going that way. Like, you know, as much as Bitcoin, you know, Bitcoin maxis, they like to sort of, and I hate saying that because people then like sort of think that I'm like saying something bad. Like, I should just say a Bitcoin maximalist to sound more formal. Yeah, they don't like anything that's different. Like, they just want to be like super conservative and change nothing, do nothing, but it's, you know, it's just the future's gonna arrive at some point, right? And there may be a day when Bitcoin needs more security because of quantum, you know, and things are gonna have to change. We're gonna have to update, you know, all that kind of stuff. So yeah, I mean, you just get used to it because the future is arriving now, and it's arriving really, really, really fast with AI, far faster than most people realize.
Yeah, I agree with that. Now, my only problem is I could stream another 14 hours, and I think we probably should just wrap this out because I love you. And I told you it'd be 15. I told you it'd be 15 minutes. That was an hour and a half ago.
Yeah, but you know, I thought you were trying to get me like on like a really formal stream, not just like a hangout. But I was like, if I can just kind of sit here, you know, trade, you know, just talk and not feel like I'm under any pressure and it's just chill. I'm like, yeah, that's fine. We could just do this. Like, why not?
Wait, hold on. You don't have to tell us all of them. Give us two. What two trades are you in right now?
No,
two of them
on futures. I basically caught positions before the bounce that we just had, which was that how many periods ago was this? It was quite recent. It was like tonight, 4 or 5. I think. Wait, I have the wrong time on my trading view right now. Anyway, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 hours ago, about less than that even. Ethereum, Chainlink, Res, low cap, Doge, AVAX. And the reason why,
hold on, I'm gonna break it down for you then. Hold on. While you said that, you don't even have to show it. So we're gonna jump in. We're jumping in. Hold on. Here's Ethereum. Let me close this out. Sorry. I had a double face there. By the way, here's the deal. I don't want to toot my own goddamn horn, but my horn is tooted. You see this green line? I'm not joking. This was an estimation when the price was over here. You see this green line right here?
You had a proper doodle that played out.
Dude, I was like, I think it might do this. Boom, 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 boom. I mean, I'm not. This is what's called chart vision.
I've done that too, where I like the way that I move my mouse ends up representing like the future price really closely, and I've thought about like actually trying to like understand what it is that I'm doing when I'm drawing, because sometimes it really matches up. Like literally just the. I know it sounds so stupid, but it's like the way that I've become like a bit of an artist on the chart, where I can draw the price action in a way that looks supernatural and sometimes plays out very similar to what I just drew. And I wonder how to like use that, but it's like I don't think I can. It's just sort of luck of the draw.
Well, I mean, here's the deal. Like, I call this, and I say this all the time to my audience. I've been very, I don't want to even say spot on. I've been very close. When Chainlink was pushing up to 15, 18, blah, 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 I was like, hey, man, I'm watching for a 7, maybe 8, 7, maybe like 8 or 9. And everybody's like, what the fuck? And then what happened? Chainlink came down to $8. And it has to do with the fact when you're in the markets for a long time, you, as excited as the price can be, you're like, no, the structure is telling me this is where it's going. Even though I'm happy that it's here, I think it's going, this sounds sad, but if you're willing to not be so attached to it being high, then you can say, hey, I can take advantage of this low. And so Ethereum came down, and I only drew down here to 2,500, and I didn't further play it out. And look at this, we've just been chopping in this range.
You didn't draw the entire future for the rest of history.
Oh, no, 100%. Like, I know where we're going in 6 months. I know we're going. No, I did not. But we're chopping here, and here's the deal. Do I think we're not going to go below 2,100? I would say, because I'm such a super bull, I don't want us to go below 2,120. If we do, I'm ready. I don't want to realize I'm ready, but if I zoom out on my chart, I have something that's already been drawn here from some time. So much so that this right here, this low 2120, this is this previous high. So if it loses this, then I'm expecting that the price is going to come down here into 19 to 1700, somewhere in this range.
It would probably be a big wick if it got below that. I mean, it depends. It depends on how you get there, right? It depends on how much time you're spending around that level. But if it would probably just wick into that zone if it happened, but I don't think it's going to personally.
I mean, I don't either. But if it does, I'm okay. I have limit orders set down here. Like, go down there. I'll be pissed because I'm a content creator. I'll be pissed because people are going to lose interest. But as an investor, I'm like, yo, fucking go down there. I'll take that buy. I have an order right here. I think it's like it's not even 17. I'll be honest. My buy order is like 1840 or 1850 or something like that. But this chop, I mean, look at this. It's already showing. Look at this wick and then candle bodies, higher low, higher low. We do not have a higher high yet. If this pushes up and breaks beyond, what is this? If this breaks beyond 2730, I would expect if this pushes beyond this is going to just work its way up and just continue. Now, what was the other thing you said?
Well, yeah, I mean, those two highs right there, like you were saying, 2,730. I mean, just draw a lower high from that last high before it, and then you can see we have it's kind of like we're almost in a bit of a pennant or something, like a consolidation, and that down trend line from those two highs right there. That's, I think, like where it'll signal the market that there's a breakout happening, and then there's gonna be volume on that.
Yeah, so this would be like 26, let's call it even lower. Let's call it 2600, but probably 2650. If it clears this, dude.
It's about 20. I mean, I would just say almost 2700. I almost like to just go with more rounded numbers rather than a specific number, because I think that psychology, especially in markets that are speculative, is a pretty big deal. But everyone, I mean, everyone's different. You can do whatever you want.
And then the other one you said was Link. And this is what I've been watching. Look at this. Up here, everybody was so happy when this dropped and this came back up. I told my audience right here. I said, "Hey man, watch for $8." And they're like, "What are you talking about?" People were mad. They're like, "What the fuck?" I'm like, "Dude, look, Head and Shoulders. Okay, measure this shit. I'm not an asshole. I'm not just like saying, hey, let me break your heart. Boom. Okay.
Like direct hit, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, and look at this. Downtrend resistance. This breakdown gave a signal down here. And so I actually looked, these orange lines, I said, I don't think it's going to go all the way down here. I think it's going to go probably somewhere in this region here, which is like somewhere in this region. And I did it like this. And look where the wick went. $8.
Yep.
Up here, no, I'm an asshole. And then it happens. They're like, why didn't you tell me? I did. You're mad because you want to be biased. And I would say, and Kevin, tell me if I'm wrong. I think we're finally at the point, and I mean this, I really do say this. I think we're finally at the point where it's not Bitcoin and Ethereum. I still think Bitcoin and Ethereum, yes, but I think it's Bitcoin and Ethereum, the blue chips, and I think Ethereum is a very, very dark light blue chip. I think Chainlink. I think Chainlink is so integrated and it's so pervasive within the crypto ecosystem, and also utilizing data sets that it brings in from Web 2, that Chainlink arguably is maybe on the same level as Ethereum in terms of like a safety factor beyond Bitcoin.
Well, I mean, I never even like thought about that, to be honest. I mean, Ethereum is the Bitcoin of smart contracts, right? Bitcoin's not very efficient, but that's not what it's for. It's a mechanism to bet against, the devaluing of fiat, whatever, however you want to look at it. I'm not going to explain the whole Bitcoin narrative right now, but Ethereum is like the Bitcoin of smart contracts. That's how I see it. And there's a lot of money in it. There's a lot of history in it. There's a lot of trust for it. It may not be the most efficient coin. You probably can't really launch like blockchain gaming stuff on there anymore because it's too expensive. Sure. But it's still got that sort of OG spunk to it. And there's a lot of liquidity in it. There's a lot of value locked in it. And I mean, it's in my opinion, it's going to be here for the long run. It may lose a little bit of market share from competitors, Solana, Avalanche, others that are going to come up. But
that's Ethereum. That's not Chainlink.
Do well. Oh yeah, sorry, I totally forgot that you were talking. Yeah, I mean, I'm sorry, I'm a little tired now. A little bit late.
No, I mean, you have to admit, Chainlink is uniquely positioned. That this is what I don't think people realize. Chainlink is uniquely positioned in that it is the bridge between not only just Web 2, but just general data sets on the mass internet scape. But then you also have it integrated into nearly every meaningful crypto platform out there. So it is super important in terms of how it's integrated on Web3 and blockchain, but it's also the bridge. Everybody wants to say Polkadot's interoperable, Cosmos and Atom interoperable. But I'm getting to the point now where I'm like, but fuck, man, Chainlink, that's the one, because it's pulling all these data sets, but it's also interoperable, but it's also now tied in with Securitize. It's tied in with Swift. Now you saw the news that came out. Was it last week? 2 weeks ago? Swift is working towards doing digital asset transactions in 2025. And I can't help but think, because of things that have happened before this, I'm like, this is a soft sell towards Chainlink for Swift. And Swift is the international fucking platform for, you know what I'm saying? Like, how, dude?
Yeah, so it's a big deal because Chainlink has been, working alongside Swift, sort of in talks with them. You could say since like 2017, 2018, then formal partnerships, 2022, 2023, experiments being done, for practical applications, and basically what we know Chainlink was doing with Swift, all of these projects, these ideas that they're testing, whatever. Now Swift is saying they're doing it in 2025. They didn't mention Chainlink, but everything that they were working with them on is now what they're actually going to do in 2025. They're going to have interoperability between traditional finance and blockchain, Swift. And it's like, okay, well, they didn't mention Chainlink, but you should know that they're in there. They're right in there. They're doing it, right? So, I mean, that's very exciting. I think that that is something that if Chainlink is as involved with that as I think they are, then it's going to make it one of the strongest assets in crypto history by far. Right? Like, it's just, think about it. Think about what that means. But we'll see, because we don't know all the details yet.
All right, I got 2 questions for you, and then we're going to wrap out. One is Super Chat from Morgan Powell. Shout out to you, my friend. Thank you. He said, is SEI, is SEI worth a hold for decent returns this run? I think there's a lot of people out there. I'm going to expound. There's a lot of people out there that are trying to wonder, is SEI the thing that's going to supplant Solana? Is it different? Is it because it had a huge run up in the last 2 weeks, and people are wondering, is this something that is this still going to run? Is it going to replace some of these narratives to us that are so? This is a hard thing, everybody watching right now. I want you to realize there's no answer, because I'm going to ask Kevin in a second, but Solana and Avalanche, and the reason why I bring up Avalanche and Solana is they both launched within about 3 months of the halving last cycle. And so we're in a second cycle of those, and people are saying, this is the thing. But now SEI is a new thing, and it launched this cycle. So
yeah,
how do you contend?
It's getting clear that you were drinking.
Shut your mouth.
Because you're getting tired. You're getting tired, dude. You're getting real tired.
I'm so tired.
But yeah, no, I gotta go. Like, it's getting late now.
No, but tell me, what's your thoughts on SEI?
I mean, listen, it's popular, right? It had a nice run from October, to into March, and a strong narrative. It's low now. If the markets come back, it's going to come back. I mean, crypto is a big sort of like everything just washes in a similar way. What matters is, do they have a community? Are they active? Are they growing? All the things that are kind of obvious. Those are actually very important things, though. And so, yeah, it's probably going to do well. It's probably going to end up, if the market rebounds, good to go.
I think that's the answer. Hey, I love you. I appreciate you, everybody here. I wanna shout this out again, because I haven't done this in a minute. Make sure you're following my guy, and his name is James Seifert.
Matthew Highland.
Oh, yeah. Sorry, hold on. I'm trying to type it in, Kevin.
Yeah, Matt texted me. He goes,
make sure you're giving this guy a follow right here. Kevin Svensson. Make sure you're following him at Kevin Svensson _. He's arguably way better than I am. He shares a wealth of knowledge on a daily basis. And then the other guy that left because he's a bitch.
No, he said his dog ate his wire.
No, he's a bitch. It's okay. I know. I love him. But he's constitutionally. How do you spell his fucking name? Matthew? Matt. There you go. Matthew. This right here. Make sure you follow him, Matthew Highland _ boom. I think that's all I got. Every bit of tequila that I've drank tonight is hitting me in the same moment. But I love you all. Kevin, thank you for coming on. I told you it'd be 10 minutes. We've been on for, I think, 3 hours. I love you.
What I liked about it was that it was casual. You kind of just called me like, yo, get on the stream. I was like, yo, I'm kind of like trading, whatever. And he was like, it's not going to be serious. We're just going to hang out. We're going to talk. I was like, all right, cool. Let's do it. And this is actually something I feel like we could do more often. Just go live and just kind of shoot the shit, whatever.
Dude, be my Sunday night homie.
That is an idea. But Kelly wants me to go on his stream in the morning, in the afternoon, and every Sunday now.
Hey, here's the deal. I'll always invite. Here's the deal. I will always invite, and you're always welcome to say no. I don't need you to be there all the time. I'll invite, and when it works, it works. When it doesn't, it doesn't. That's it.
Of course. No, I appreciate it. You're the man of opportunities.
I am.
Kelly's one of the best networkers I've ever met in my life. If you guys see him at a conference, go talk to him. He knows everyone. Everyone knows him. If you want to meet people, hang out with Kelly. Very knowledgeable. Knows everything about crypto. Knows about the markets, investing, trading, all of it. And so Kellam is that guy. Like, he is like the man when I'm going somewhere, to crypto conferences. Kelly's like the man. And so
I want to address something real quick because I think it's funny. Wes, the electrician, the absolute number one most connected person in everything that has to do with crypto. He gives you every bit of information you could ever know. He just gave me the knowledge. He said, dude, drink water. Don't do this again. You know what? Fuck you. Good night.